on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Democracy?
Oh, girl, baby girl. Oh, really? Don't even blink.
Shut up, silly woman.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program. Thank God for another beautiful day. Hopefully it'll be a beautiful show. And Montgomery needs a new mayor. I think that would solve so many problems. Now, there's also a lot of personal work everybody needs to work on. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of y'all need to get back to church. Like, stop caring about stuff that don't matter. Now, if you go and you enjoy yourself because people are dealing with tragedy, that's one thing. Like, there's always a time and a season for raising a little Cain. But every weekend, every Friday, every evening, some people are like that. Heck, I might have been like that at one point. But yeah, I think if we get the personal stuff worked out, like Montgomery getting a new mayor, now we'll have to wait. So I don't really see the point in like us just being mean to one another on social media. What do you think, Eddie?
I didn't know they were being mean to one another.
Yeah, I just look at social media. I'm like, this probably, we could get more people watching us and listening to the show if we were just jerks.
Oh, yeah, you could go that route.
Yeah, we could just become like a-holes, and just constantly
I can't do that.
Criticize and needle and accuse and suspect. Like, we could go that route.
That's a crappy way to live. To be
but
honest.
people find it entertaining. We could do it ironically. Like, we don't actually mean it. We're just entertaining the hayseeds.
But that's the problem. If you say it long enough, you're probably going to start to live it.
Right, and that's the classic cliche of, well, I'm the a-hole jock on the radio, but I do it ironically. I'm not that way. In real life, no, you are that way. You are that way. Did you see that Lindsey Graham's sister is going to be filling in?
Filling in?
For Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham died.
I know he died, but...
So they appointed his sister.
Who the hell did that?
The governor. After the Trump requested it. And this is the sister that he essentially adopted after both their parents died. He was 22. She was 13.
Nepotism.
Katie likes it a lot. And her and Lindsey were, of course, very close.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's sort of this interim thing because I think their election's like going to be quick, like in November.
I assume it'd be pretty quick.
It's kind of like, you know, what Wallace's wife became governor.
That's all I could ever think
it's
of.
Pretty much, it's a very, I think it's a nice gesture in the sense that it's not like she's going to run for re-election. It's not like she's trying to, it was more a way to honor Lindsey. And,
I guess, but...
And you know that she's not going to like do something crazy. Like if they appointed somebody interim who starts voting,
starts doing
like things Lindsey Graham would never do, it kind of just would probably piss people off.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. They put flowers at his desk in the Senate and did a tight shot on it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I'm sure he's a nice guy. Just never was a big fan.
But then we have Trump today saying the oil is flowing and I'm going to charge a 20% fee. And then they're like, sir, we said earlier that nobody's going to charge fees on that. Well, what we're going to do is not charge the fee. What we're going to do is have the Gulf states, they want to invest billions, if not trillions. Is that right? They're going to invest trillions. So we get Trump latest with the war.
Yeah.
And more strikes last night.
Yeah, strikes last night.
Intense bombing, apparently. And it's still very difficult, even with all the bombs being dropped. not controlling the Strait of Hormuz.
Maybe
Now
it's-
Trump says he's got the blockade going, the oil's flowing. Iran says no, we're still
right,
controlling
we're
things.
Still controlling. We're still wanting to charge to go through the straits.
Right. Now I think everybody's kind of lying,
Yeah.
but I definitely think the Iranians are lying to a large degree.
Oh, well,
Like I don't know who's in charge. Like
You're-
when you see a statement from, like at least when you see a statement from Trump, it's like it's from Trump.
yeah.
Like you know it's from Trump. Like nobody's going above Trump's head in the administration. Like with Biden, that was happening all the time.
Right. But in this Iran deal, who's in charge?
Yeah, who's in charge?
I mean, you're fighting a neighborhood that has no leader.
What, the gay supreme leader? And I don't know why like that. I guess I don't know.
Oh,
That's reported by the CIA. The New York Post keeps putting it up there.
okay. But if
I
you
think
were
it's
in
funny.
charge over there, they would say the same thing about you. They're not going to put you in a good
Probably.
light.
That's
I got to
probably
assume
true.
that.
Well, no, but if you hammer that enough, maybe he'll transition.
Well, I figured they did it because a lot of the Iranians probably don't know who their leader is, and now that they hear that, oh yeah, we got one. Oh, he's a little light in the loafers.
And his wafers are pretty
Yeah.
light too.
that would create some kind of turmoil.
Yeah,
You
would
know, a
think.
weak leader,
You would think. But, that's going on.
And that'd be
Oh,
typical CIA.
a new inflation report just came in.
Oof.
And it's actually a good report.
Really?
Yeah, at this point this year, we are expected to be core inflation at 2.8. We're now at 2.6. And the last report came in negative 0.4.
Well, we're going in the right
So
direction.
going in the right direction.
That's
But
all I
then
can really
oil had its biggest spike ever,
Mm-hmm.
like one of its biggest spikes ever overnight.
Yep.
Because of the war getting back going. Now, it's kind of simple. Like if you can actually end a damn war, I'm sure what you're going to see is incredibly low gas prices,
Yeah.
low energy prices. You're probably going to see the Fed then lower interest rates because the economy will start
Need that.
going way below
we need
inflation
that.
expectations. And then, oh my goodness, that'll help real estate. That's probably going to help because this is happening now. Lindsey Graham apparently really wanted the Clarity Act passed,
Really?
which is the last sort of market structure bill for cryptocurrency.
I didn't know that he was a big pusher of
Yeah,
that.
he was pushing it behind the
I didn't know
scenes a
that.
lot. And Cynthia Lummis,
Mhm.
is it Loomis or
Loomis.
Lummis?
I go Loomis.
Is it Lummis like hummus or Loomis like
Hummus.
illumine, like a light?
I go Loomis, like a light.
But anyway, Cynthia, the senator from Wyoming,
Mhm.
she's been pushing all the crypto stuff for a long time. She's saying that it looks like there's some daylight there, and that could be gangbusters for a lot of, say, the financial side of the economy. Right now, big nasty war between the incumbent players, the big banks, and the up and comers like your Coinbases and others. But last night I noticed that I was watching the Home Run Derby. Did you watch the Derby?
I don't think so.
You didn't watch the Derby?
Don't think so.
Some people are saying it's rigged because they put up a graphic too early before the guy hit the last home run. But I'm like, how do you fake hitting a home run?
Yeah.
Because it's a home run derby. It's like, well, the pitcher was throwing easy floaters to him.
It's
It's
home
like,
run
that's the
derbies.
whole point.
That's home run derby, man.
Right. One guy literally had his dad throw to him for a father-son moment.
That's
He
kind of
came
sweet.
in last.
That was-
Like, you should have gone with a normal pitch and go.
I can
yeah, I
see
think
maybe
it's
one
the-
pitch, but you can't.
He's having a great year. I can't remember his name. Young white dude for the Yankees. Has
Yeah.
20 home runs this year. And, came in last because dad threw to him. But it actually ended pretty cool. Like, Taylor is the guy's last name. His family calls him Alex, but that's not the name everybody else knows him by.
Mhm.
But Taylor just went on like a 6 home run streak, thinking he was down, not many
Yeah.
swings left, was going to be beat by the hometown hero there for the Phillies. And no, he just goes on this tear, just knocking them out
Nice.
one after the other. But anyway, as I'm watching the Home Run Derby, I saw a commercial. I don't normally watch stuff that's commercial. And it's like, you can do your crypto now on E-Trade.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's like, oh,
You didn't get the postcards for that?
see, this is why the Clarity Act's being held up. It's like, we've got to let every single big bank get in
Get in
and
first.
really get positioned. And then it can go gangbusters. Then we'll be off to the
Yeah.
races. All that's going on. I love seeing a trending piece I read yesterday on 1819 News.
Mhm.
Is Barrett Gilbreth. Montgomery is poised to answer the chicken or egg question. And I guess the idea is like, is it Field of Dreams? If you build it, they will come.
Nope, I don't believe in that.
Or do you need to more like incubate the egg, which is public safety
Yeah.
and security and policing and these.
You can have nicest stuff,
Mhm.
but when the lights go out at night, if that place becomes a ghost town, like downtown a lot of times does, it's because it's not safe. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. You got the beauty, you got the amenities. One thing we're missing, I think, is a little bit of safety.
Well, and maybe what needs to be done is like, it'd be nice if Montgomery gets a new mayor, but we don't vote on that. And you got to have people that actually run, and
Right.
all this stuff. But what if we got a new governor later this
That's
year,
coming.
and he doesn't care what the mayor thinks?
That's going to be, I think, an interesting.
And the mayor can call him all sorts of names. I have a sense. I
Okay.
mean, do you have a sense that Coach Tuberville's going to really give a damn if
Nope.
Stephen Reed calls him like all sorts of names or makes clever allusions to George Wallace and Bull Connor and stuff?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I know it's going to happen. I mean, I've seen some of the things already, but nah.
No, I'm half expecting Tuberville's going to turn around and go, "Shut up about your gay race communism." Like, serious. I think this is where we're going, and it's going to be so much fun. It's seriously going to be fun because for the longest time we've had these old Dixiecrats, and I mean old. They're old,
Yeah.
running the show.
Yes.
Like we've just been asleep, taking a big nap for 10 years. Now we've gotten some things done, sugar. I'm like,
Not
sure.
much.
Got the Literacy Act, the Numeracy Act. We got the Choose Act. See, we got some stuff done. Yeah, okay, great.
No.
But Tate Reeves is whooping our behind. Whooping it good. Mississippi's kicking our ass.
Yeah.
Tennessee is too.
Well, they always have been. But and that's what's messed up is we've used Mississippi as the final bridge that, hey, we know we're bad if we're worse than them. Okay, folks, we're worse than them now. It's official.
So it could be that what you see is Tuberville gets in, and he's going to say stuff that you're like, well, daggum. I don't like that. Yesterday, some people, I'm sure, were real pissed off. They're just like, look, folks, data centers are coming. I like to win. I don't like to lose. So, it makes too much noise and takes all the water. Bull crap. That's, I think, a literal quote from Coach. So you see, but here's the thing. It would be like some statement from some staffer
Yeah.
that KIV put out like weeks after people are talking about the thing.
Right.
Whereas opposed to Coach is just going to tell you straight up at a press conference, I think you're complaining about this, your belly aching's bull crap. And you might, oh no, but at least we're alive. At least we're talking. And, Coach kept that going
Yeah.
today. This is the top headline at 1819 News. Tuberville said he plans to overhaul the scandal-ridden Alabama Department of Corrections should he win
you.
his bid for governor.
Thank you.
Of course, the 2021 special session was called to set aside $1.3 billion in funding and expedite a process for the construction of 2 new prisons. 2 new prisons, folks. One in Elmore County, which they love their prisons over there in Elmore County.
Yeah.
Drove by it the other day, right?
Drive by it every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes twice.
And the other was supposed to be in Escambia County.
Okay.
While the federal government was investigating the Alabama Department of Corrections for Eighth Amendment violations, which I think the federal government has a good argument.
You think?
Well, I know, Your Honor, that it looks like this is the fifth circle of hell. But,
It's the prison.
we give it, like, they did the crime.
Yep.
They're doing the time. Like, well, there's the whole, visit people in prison thing. Like, kind of care for those.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to save souls. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't turn it into a place where there's just abject violence and sexual violence and assault and constant contraband. And it's just like, okay.
Well, at what point?
Real good idea to lock up a bunch of sociopaths together to let them learn from one another.
Well, and that's the other thing, too. But how much of this contraband, good Lord, I mean, it only gets worse and worse. So it seems like to me, you've got the inmates literally running the asylum.
Yeah. But since then, that was 2021,
Okay.
where it was $1.3 billion to expedite the construction of 2 new prisons.
Yeah.
Since then, the price tag for the Elmore County facility alone has ballooned to more than $1 billion. You think that might happen with like a convention center here in Montgomery?
You think? On a Superfund site?
Meaning the legislature will need to find an additional funding for the eventual construction of the Escambia County facility. The Department of Corrections has also faced bipartisan criticism for its handling of a $1 billion prison health care contract with bankrupt Yes Care. I know we should have gone with No Care. Dadgummit, I told you, Yes Care it's an ironic name.
Right.
They say yes to stealing your money. That's what they do.
did.
But a sheriff As Tuberville at the Alabama Sheriff's Association gathered gathering in a public question and answer session, a Q&A, as they say. This was a Monday in Opelika.
Okay.
And so asked Tuberville about this whole department, about the Department of Corrections in general. The sheriff asked this exactly. One of the things that law enforcement, and particularly sheriffs, have an issue with is Department of Corrections. They're not our friends in a lot of ways. Can you help us? The sheriff asked. Department of Corrections getting ready to totally change, said Tuberville. You won't recognize it this time next year. I'm already liking it.
I like that.
It's more energy.
Yeah.
He's alive.
Yeah, exactly.
It will change. We're leaking oil bad. I don't know where all the money is going. We're building one prison over there. It's supposed to be $600 million. It's about 1.3 or 1.4 billion. Now they asked for another $100 million last week. They better get all they can get because some of their asses are going to be in the same jail.
I'm down with that. But I don't want to just hear the talk, Joey. We fall for the talk way too
No,
often.
I hope he keeps doing this and Governor Kay Ivey, just help her legacy, tries to steal his shtick. Oh, I'm put their asses in jail, sugar.
Somebody have to wake her up and tell her.
What? You want me to say something about ass?
Just saying. I can't wait to get a real governor. A governor that I feel like is kind of connected to the world and said and on top of things that need to be decisions that need to be made, not one that's 6 weeks reactive.
And hold on, wait right there. Did you hear the open letter that was sent to me yesterday?
No.
It was from Susan. It was about Mayor Reed.
No.
Her main thing was Jesus can help anybody, and help me. And so my advice to you, Mr. Mayor, stop being such an ass and listen to people. But she sent a thing. She sent a thing because it gets hot in here, right?
Oh, yes, it does.
It gets real hot in here.
Yes, it does.
Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe that's just the single unit in here is not the best plan.
No, that sun right there.
And we also don't have much insulation. Like when they blow the dead flower bed,
Yeah.
like I don't even know what they're blowing. They're just blowing stuff. You can smell the gasoline.
Yes, you can.
It shows we're really insulated. Good soundproofing too here at Blue Water Broadcasting. But she sent me this, and you know it's a hand fan,
Okay.
but it's a hand fan shaped like a stop sign. But it really works, sugar.
Yeah.
And she painted this beautifully.
Oh, wow.
And it's a donkey with his caboose,
Yeah.
his backside kind of in the foreground, pointing towards, almost like he's looking over his shoulder at you, like.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, "Be in such an ... and it's a picture of a jackass. So let me pull that up for the audience
cool.
on the stream. And I'll tell you what, this thing, Eddie, works. It'll make you want to start. May he rest in peace, talking like Lindsey Crane. Here, try it out. Because it gets a little hot in here.
It does get hot in here.
Isn't
Oh,
that
I do
sweet?
too.
Yeah.
I feel it working.
And I feel like we could use that for the mayor, but we could use that for all sorts of folks around here, including ourselves.
Thanks, Joey.
Thank you, Susan. This is one of the best gifts I've gotten in a long time. Anyway, Tuberville says they better get all they can get because some of their asses are going to be in the same jail. I'm sick and tired of all these change orders costing millions. It's just coming out of our pockets. Crazy. Tuberville continued saying, we've been talking to people all over the country. One good thing about being in the Senate, I've got a dozen guys that have been governors up there. I talked to them if I could. What did you do in corrections? What did you do in this situation? What worked for you? What didn't work? We've got a good relationship. I've sat down and talked hours with people about the good things and bad things, some things to do and some things not to do. Tuberville continued saying, corrections, that's one of the first things that always comes up about how to handle it. There's not a lot of good corrections states. There's some. Florida has got a good one. We've talked a lot with them. We're going to find somewhere to put them. We're not going to put them back onto the streets. If we can convict them, we are going to put them in there. Nobody likes to spend money on prisons, but unfortunately, we're in the situation where the federal government says, you've got to build it.
Yeah.
We've got another one planned, but we don't have the money for it, Tuberville said. We need to run the ones we have. Unfortunately, we're going to have to use your jails, but you're already full anyway, saying this to the sheriffs. It will be a total change over what we're doing, how we're doing it. We're going to get input from y'all. What you've seen, what's been going on, this is your expertise. So, yeah. Now, well, what about the specifics? It's like, I don't need the specifics.
I don't need it
I
right
just
now.
need the man with the pulse
Right.
saying, I'm tired of this. Some of your ass is going to be in jail because this is clearly corrupt.
Yeah. There's not a doubt about that.
Yeah. So it's a nice change. I'm liking this. I'm liking Tuberville. Even on stuff like I disagree, I'm like, man, this is refreshing.
Well, at least he's not afraid to speak his mind. He's not a weak-kneed politician.
No, he's not. And I think it's going to be night and day, folks. I seriously think Alabama has been asleep for a decade. And has it all been bad? No. We're not California.
No.
We're not Illinois. We're
Well,
not
it could be better.
New York. We get it.
We could be better.
And that's a fun game to play. It's like, well, it could be like you got that commie man, Mondami. And it's like, yeah, but I'm tired of the Dixiecrats that have upped
Yeah.
the budget every year.
Yep.
And for what? What's the result?
Are you happier? You feel better? Are your streets more paved? There more cops out there?
No, but we do have the state and the city arguing about who cuts the grass on the boulevard. Hey, somebody get your ass out there and just cut it and then settle the bill later. Dadgummit.
There's an idea.
like
There's
it's
an
not.
idea. Settle it.
Do you have people on staff at Parks and Rec? Oh, it's such against the rules for them to stop their truck and mow a median, and then you bill the state, and you just keep billing the state. And
You're going to get paid. I mean, I don't understand how that works, but I always, it's one of those deals where seems like local leadership always passing the buck.
Well, I don't know if we have the extra gas. Well, we don't have the extra gas. Y'all riding around all over the daggum town doing nothing.
If we start with this one, then Joey, where's it going to end? Now I'm cutting the interstates. Now, where's it going to end? I don't have those kind of resources I can just put out there. I have to tax the people, and we don't want no more taxes.
Right. And plus, we got garbage trucks that ain't working. We got police
Well,
cruisers
some are
that
good.
ain't working. But you know what will solve this?
What?
A new convention center.
How?
We're going to double our debt service.
Okay, so we're maximizing our debt.
Yeah. Like 25 million. Like, let's go from 25 million to 50 million a year of debt service.
Okay.
Now, I'm sure there's plenty of smart folks that can say, well, that's only a certain percentage of our projected revenues. That's not a big deal. And I'm like,
But if it's going to put you in debt, I mean, we know the deal. It's going to put Montgomery in more debt than they've ever had before, and probably right into the red. Why? You can't afford it right now. You know, I want a built-in pool right now, but I can't afford it right now.
but that could be the thing. The city does whatever the city's going to do, and not what a lot of folks want.
That's
At
what
the
seems to
city
be
level,
happening.
at the city level. And then Montgomery's going to get a new governor,
Mm.
and he's going to do a lot of stuff folks do want. And maybe, and they'll dog cuss each other and blah, 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 but it might be that things actually just get done despite all the belly aching, as opposed to us just being asleep
What we've been.
and pretending like we're actually getting things done.
Yep.
Anyway, 272-9228. Got to hit a quick break. We'll come back to all these phone calls. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team are ready to help you with, well, buying and selling property here in Montgomery and surrounding areas. Bo's been working in the River Region real estate market for about half a century now. So he's got the experience. He's seen it all when it comes to real estate. And not only when it comes to buying and selling, he can also help you manage that rental. You know, and rental is a great idea. Having a rental investment in this area, fantastic idea. Not just with the Turno with the Air Force Base, but, you know, a lot of folks just renting these days. If you could turn the property you own into a rental and then have Goodson Group for a reasonable fee, manage it for you, and it's a performing asset month after month, that's all right. So check out the Goodson Group today. You can always go to thegoodsongroup.com to learn more, or call them up at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of the program. We'll be right back after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Trust is the number one reason why a patient chooses a healthcare provider. Adams Drugs has been your trusted healthcare provider since 1962 and has been voted the number one pharmacy in the River Region for many years. We strive each and every day to provide you the level of health care you have come to expect from Adams Drugs. The employees at Adams Drugs take pride in developing relationships with their patients, from making sure your prescriptions are filled correctly to getting to know you and your family's needs and following up on any questions you may have. Adams Drugs employees deliver top-notch service. We ask you to visit us at any of our locations in Montgomery, Prattville, Wetumpka, Millbrook, and Pine Level Marbury and give us a chance to earn your business. You can find us at adamsdrugs.net for the location that is nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local, independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Pizza Perfect is carrying over the $10 buffet for July. They also have the perfect deal to feed your family tonight. Order any large pizza and get an order of boneless wings free. Pizza Perfect is known for their all-you-can-eat buffet, including pizza, spaghetti, breadsticks, salad, dessert, and drink, and it's only $10 in July. Available Monday through Saturday for lunch and for dinner on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Buy any large pizza, get an order of boneless wings on the house at Pizza Perfect, Coliseum Boulevard, Eastbrook, pickup and delivery.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather. Well, hi, everybody. Be flexible with your plans. Showers and thunderstorms will be rather widespread today, especially in the afternoon and evening hours before they fade out. Not every town will be affected, but some towns will get some very heavy downpours. High today held down by clouds and showers up to about 86. Tonight's low in the 70s. For Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and probably Saturday as well, we ease back to a more typical pattern of spotty storms, and high temperatures will return to the 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
When the heat hits to the river region, don't wait. If your AC quits, Hands Heating and Air offers same-day service, or your diagnostic charge is free with their Comfort a Day or You Don't Pay guarantee, plus 24/7 service with no overtime charges.
Live local talk, the River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. It is hot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just pleasant, ain't it? I'm your host, Joey Clark. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Simpler Days. Hey, Simpler Days, how you doing? Simpler Days, how you doing?
Simpler Days is here.
How's it going today?
Well, I was just contemplating what Coach Tuberville's cabinet meeting might be like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And if he was to give them a coach 'em up speech.
Yeah.
And then he started giving out stars put on their desk every time they save money or. Just think about running it from a football mind, Joey, because he said there's nothing he hasn't seen.
Right.
No, you said I am a football coach.
I know everything.
That's right. He does, and he's been to war, so I'm looking forward. And he was over, like you just brought up. He was over at the Sheriff's Association in Opelika, and he might have been Christmas shopping. Gentlemen, for a head of Aaliyah.
Interesting.
I'm just saying,
What did they do? Like a official ritual to like dance and stuff, or like how does that work?
Well, I just think he's got a plan. I think he already knows who he's going to want, but we'll see. Y'all have a good day.
You too, buddy.
It might have been the sheriff who asked him a question.
Might have been.
Just say. And by dance, I don't mean literal dance. I don't want to see most, if not all. I don't want to see any of them dance.
Really? You're opposed to dancing now?
The sheriffs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to see my sheriff dance.
Really?
I like Derek Cunningham.
Me too. You don't think he can cut the rug?
I'm sure he can, and when he is not in his official capacity,
okay,
he can dance all he wants.
But not
it's free country.
Not when he's on duty. You don't want that.
No, it depends on the duty, though.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm sure I might have caught him dancing once or twice at Fun Zone.
what
I
I'm
might have when I
thinking.
worked back there, and he'd be on duty out there, like you can dance at Fun Zone.
They're just human too, Joe.
I know,
They're cops.
but
They're
it's
human
like,
too.
but when you're the high sheriff of Montgomery County,
I never did see Andy dance.
there you go.
I don't.
He
think
had
I
to
ever saw
he
him
had to
dance.
put on an example,
Oh, yeah.
whereas Barney clearly danced.
Oh yeah, he's a dancer, big time.
Not a dancer.
A dancer.
Yeah. Let's go to Jeff. Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
I'm doing good. You know, y'all was talking last week about bears.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I just sent you a picture. We had one here in Montgomery. You know where Kaiser Furniture is at?
Yep.
The house behind Kaiser Furniture. He was walking across the driveway. I sent you a picture.
Mhm.
I'm looking at it now.
So you think them things are going to walk across that river bridge?
I don't know. They coming. What's all this construction they're doing? They're cutting down all the wood to build all these houses. They got to go somewhere.
They got to go somewhere. You're right.
The Bears, they coming.
They coming.
He's a good-looking little fella too.
Yeah,
he's not
he didn't
huge,
look hungry.
but like he's
He
it's
didn't-
still a bear. I wouldn't want to mess with
Yeah, he
it.
didn't look hungry. He's well fed.
He's pretty bear
Mm-hmm.
for a bear. and him being a black bear, you know, black bears are not
So what now about
really
black bears?
aggressive. They're not really aggressive unless they're, you know,
Right.
Right.
you poke a bear, yeah.
Yeah, you can
So
poke
when
him.
I was a kid, we used to go to Cherokee, North Carolina on vacation, and they would have the bears, you know, there at these little rest stops.
Yep.
And they were just, you know, of course they had people that had them on with a collar and everything, and you could pet them, but I wouldn't walk up to a bear and say, "Hey, can I pet you?"
No.
But you know, the guy that was over that, he says black bears are not aggressive unless they're cornered
Mhm.
or threatened. He said most times they see you, they just keep on walking.
Yep.
But I got a joke for you.
All right.
The guy was running, he was being chased by a bear. He got to a cliff and realized he had nowhere else to go, and he said, "Lord, please make this bear a Christian." The bear stopped, put his paws together, and said, "Lord, thank you for the food I'm about to receive."
That's a good one.
That's an old one, but a good one.
Thank you,
I'll
Jeff.
talk to y'all later.
See you, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good looking bear.
Yeah,
I mean, it looked like you could yell at it and he'd go away.
he would.
But
But also, if you feed him, he'll keep coming back around.
well, he'll definitely do that too. Aren't they related to dogs? Like dogs and them have a common ancestor.
Sure.
I'm just thinking
You
that
went to college.
that classic
College,
viral
right?
video. I'm gonna pet that dog.
Did you see the guy? I think it was at Yellowstone that got hit by the
bison.
Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
not just hit. That dude got thrown up in the air like 10, 20
Well, and he saw the problem. As soon as the bison came to
Yeah.
on the ground, started like rustling. He's like, "Okay, let's get out of here." And it didn't work. It found him in the woods.
It's just so funny because you'd see him come running out of the woods, and then here comes the bison.
And we covered a story yesterday out of Nepal.
Yeah.
Which I was having trouble reading those names, but out of Nepal, all the way in East Asia,
Mhm.
where this guy, 14 years ago, this guy's mother and father were killed. Some might say murdered, because there was intent there, by an elephant.
Uh-huh.
Like ransacked their home
Yep.
and stomped and trampled his mother and father.
Mhm.
So because of that, he moved across the country. Now, not a big country, but he moved like across the country, across 2 rivers. 14 years later, this past week, he's sitting there and his sister-in-law and his grandson are dead from the same exact elephant.
Wow.
And apparently that elephant's killed 20-something people in the last 15 years.
Okay, so
Killed the elephant.
right.
Right.
I'm not trying
But
to be-
isn't that like the stuff of true nightmares? It makes you go, what's going on with that elephant?
I was waiting for you to say that elephant tracked him down across the
Right.
world and got him. I mean,
Now, I've always heard they're very intelligent animals, but ooh,
apparently they can hold a grudge.
like, there's somebody consorted with some witch or something, and the elephant was out for revenge. Isn't that crazy?
That is very crazy. But I don't live in those elephant countries.
Yeah.
If I did, I'd have an elephant. You know that.
Yeah, I know you would. Let's go to Soldier Boy. Hey, Soldier Boy. how you
Soldier
doing?
boy.
Feed him peanuts.
Good afternoon, guys.
How you doing, bro?
You've been reading too much Horton. Here's a Who. Damn.
Yeah. I'm more of a fan of the Lorax.
Lorax?
Oh, yeah.
Some of my callers remind me of that.
What I called about, Joey, is the money being spent in burying financially our children and grandchildren's future in the city and county.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to spend $375 million on a new civic center, correct?
I wouldn't do it, but probably.
No, we're going to spend more than that. Let's
Okay,
be
and
honest.
I heard the vote was 4-4, and the person missing wasn't there to decide. That's interesting, 4-4. So they're going to have to vote on it again.
Right,
I
that was
guess.
Szymanski. Now that Marche's out, you think you can have some 4-4s? And he's like, maybe. And then we saw a big
Well, he was
4-4
done.
right there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, big 4-4 on the big thing. And then we're going to spend $50 million and buy the property where the Montgomery Advertiser used to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's another $50 million. So $375 for that. We're at $425,000. And then we're going to give $25-30 million to the Jackson Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So we're almost $500 million in debt before we think about it. You know what? That's typical of Democrats because, like my mom used to say, Joey, it's nice to have nice things, but at the end of the day, somebody's got to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always nicer when somebody else has to pay for it, right?
Right.
It's always different when somebody else has to pay for it.
But Soldier Boy,
that's
have you
nice.
seen Field of Dreams?
You build it and they will come.
Yeah.
That happens in the movies.
It's working
So
out
guess
great with
what?
the Whitewater Park.
Mm.
That's probably why there was never a part 2 or a sequel to that movie.
Yeah. No one showed.
Because it ain't going to happen. Now, what's interesting is you look at the budget every year. Okay, it's presented. Okay,
Yeah.
in the last couple of years, number one, most spent money. Okay, for the city. Number one, drum roll, please. Fire department. 2, police department.
Hmm.
And I bet you guys can't guess number 3. It's the interest, and the interest alone on the debt the city owes.
What are we doing, about $25 million?
That's just the interest, Joey.
Yeah, no, debt service, yeah.
Yeah, the debt service. Is that? I mean, talk about living above your means. I mean, you think you're going to build a civic center, a brand new, smack shiny building is going to bring tourists here? Are you a drugs? This guy is going to spend us the debt when he leaves to something bigger and better in a Democratic Party in the state or in federal government. He's going to leave us with debt. Did you know when believe it or not, who was it? The Emory Farmer was in office when he always ran everything in the black? Was that when you're balanced everything?
Yes.
It's not okay in the black. He was running everything in the black. So I ended up working for the city when Bobby Bright was there, okay?
Right.
And also I worked during the time, I don't know if you worked there, and also the Mayor Strange, right?
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, I was in the city council, and I was always told and informed and educated myself, did some research. You have to present to the city council a balanced budget, okay? Now, the last time I looked at a balanced budget, it had to stand on its own. Well, what Bobby did was take money, the $8 million, $12 million that Emory Farmer had left in the trust fund there, and moved it over to pay for his budget.
Mm-hmm.
Now I looked at the lady who does the finance office at the time, director, and I asked her. I said, "Is that by definition to rob from Peter to pay Paul? Does that actually truly the term of the balanced budget. I thought a balanced budget, Joey, had to stand on its own.
Sure, but I guess they would technically say, well, we have the reserves, so we can balance.
Yeah.
We're just not saving as much or keeping that savings.
I mean, it's easy to spend it, Joey, when it's, I mean, wouldn't you like to have a brand new Land Rover or a brand new Ferrari or something?
Sure.
As long as somebody else paid for it.
Yeah.
Now, here's even something funny here. I was walking down Dexter Avenue with Mayor Strange at the time, okay? And we had these sidewalks that needed to be power washed, and beautiful trees that had been there since probably the early 1900s, okay? And there was nothing wrong with them. And he told me, Soldier Boy, he says, what we're going to do, he says, we're going to put new sidewalks in, new trees in, and everything. I said, you know how long those trees take? 100 years. I said, we'll be dead. Our grandkids will probably be almost age of retirement.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, don't worry about it, Soldier Boy. We're not going to pay for it. I go, what do you mean? And he goes, oh, it's a grant from the federal government. I was like, wait a minute, Mayor. Just because we're not paying it out of our city budget doesn't mean we're not paying for it as citizens of this country. We pay federal taxes, dude.
That's right, dude.
And you wonder why we spend money just to spend it. Because it was there. He says, well, we're not going to have to pay for it. It's federal government. I said, no, we all pay for it. I just don't understand some politicians sometimes. I just don't.
Well, they like just moving things around.
What do you think about this? Now we got up to 17 people running for District 3. 17.
It's a circus, man.
Now, here's my question. I asked a lot of them, okay? It's a simple question. Where the hell were you guys the last time when District 3 had an election? You know what I mean? Maybe they had one or two people run for it, or she ran unopposed, But I was like, where were they at then, Joey? Where did these 17 people come out of the woods?
She was too strong, and now there's this wide open lane, and so I'll take my
shot. You can tell
shot.
she was really strong, yeah. Getting those VA loans, I guess she was strong, I guess. But it's just amazing, 17 people. So what are you going to, it's going to cost us money to have that election. How much is that going to cost us? I don't know. Yeah, exactly. And then can you hear say the word, there's no way anybody's got, with 17 people running, you're going to get 50% of the vote. Come on. You're going to have another election after that.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you agree with 17 people?
Yeah, you're probably going to have a runoff.
Yeah, and how much that runoff going to cost us again?
Million.
You are so correct, Eddie.
Yep.
Millions. And it's just a complete, utter waste of time and money. But it just shocks me. It shows me the communical that 17 people are running for this, and they all qualified too. I want to see. I'm going to spend a whole day, 6 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night, and have them have a debate because I'll be there with popcorn and pizza and food. Grubhub bringing me food there because they're going to be out there all day debating 17 people. How can you have a debate?
Well, I mean, you could change it up to where it's not just like debating and talking about ideas. You'd be like, who can catch this pig first?
Yeah.
Then you get advanced to the next round.
Not bad.
Right. Or it needs to be an elimination thing. Like we'll get Mr. That's what we need to do. Let's get Mr. Beast down here. He'll give us a grant.
Yeah.
And we'll have a proper Mr. Beast Games election.
That'd be the way to do it.
No, actually, I hear he's a good dude.
I hear he's
the Mr. Beast. That's the guy on the was he
on the YouTube?
On YouTube's, yeah.
Yeah, like the most watched one of the.
He was on the 50th anniversary of the what do you call it? The people stuck on the island and they had to vote each other off. Survivor.
Yeah.
And Mr. Beast was on there. That's the first time I've ever heard.
Yeah, and then he essentially stole their ideas and started doing his own Beast game
really
show
well.
or whatever. Anyway, I got to run, Soldier Boy. I appreciate the call. Good one.
I'll let you, bro.
Now I'm looking at this. It's like I started to look. Here is Barrett Gilbreth. He wrote, so the issue of paying debt, a bond issue in the amount of $375 million is going to cost the city $20 to $25 million annually just to service the debt. The city recently reported its current annual long-term debt to be around $25 million per year. Now the budget was $353, something like that last time. So it's not like we're sitting there too high, but
I don't like that if you build it, they will come. We've done that twice. How many more times we got to learn the lesson that politicians stay out of the cookie jar. They don't need to be running a business with our money. If they want that, if that business needs to be here, then it needs to be able to survive and make it.
Well, also, I don't know if it's $25 million a year, because I think that just the outstanding long-term debt is 25.5.
Period. So it would double it?
Yes. But then the servicing of that is not $25 million.
Okay, and also
you would have to service the 50. You would have to service the 25 as you do now. But so the servicing of it is a very low percentage of your budget.
Yeah, but still the numbers ain't going to add up, man. That's just, for one, we know it's going to be just double. Whatever they ask for, just go ahead and say it's going to be double.
Mm-hmm.
When are you going to start servicing that debt, and when does that place open? So every day that place is not open, it's costing you money. Every day it is open, it's going to cost you money if you don't have it booked. Do we have any plans, or are we just literally going to put the for rent sign on it? You know, have they gone as far as started trying to book shows or see what it takes to book decent shows?
Well, but then Barrett Gilbreth, I can't say your name, Barrett. No. I apologize, too, Mr. Gilbreth. How much would an additional 200 police officers cost city? Somewhere between 20 and 25 million.
And you can put them to work right away.
Let's just crank up the whole outstanding debt to about 100 mil. Let's 4x that current debt principal, and we'll just let everybody gets everything, right? That'll work. Just funny money. And that'll make quality of life so much better in Montgomery, too. Like, say you got all that stuff. It would just be great here.
No, it wouldn't. Now you got events that you don't have security for. Yeah, inside the events you do, but outside the public space, you don't have enough security for that.
Anyway, let's go to David. Hey, David, how you doing?
Oh, well, not too bad. I was going to raise a possibility for how America could get out of this problem that the value of the money is being diminished.
Mm-hmm.
Every time something stupid comes out of Washington, D.C., the value of the money falls, and so prices get higher. Right?
Correct.
So we have to improve the reputation of the money. And when you've got a president that comes up with a strategic Bitcoin reserve, and he says that he wants to buy the gold, or he wants to take the gold of America and buy Bitcoin with it, and then he's going to balance the world's budgets by playing with Bitcoin.
What is Bitcoin?
In between, it's like fake money that requires endless electricity.
That's a really dumb answer, David.
What does it? How much electricity does it take to mine a Bitcoin?
Yeah, that's the whole prospect of the security and value of it.
Right.
Along with a few other functions, but how does it work?
They have to waste electricity to come up with a proof system for a pack of smokes. I mean, what kind of value system is that? So that's where we are.
A money that's saleable across time like gold, but then saleable across space like fiat.
Okay, so the idea that America's value, its money, is the reputation of the nation, right? And when
would you be against us going back to a gold standard?
No, it goes back to the reputation of America, and gold is whatever somebody says it's worth, right? But the value of the nation is really our reputation. And if we look like a pack of fools because we keep following a guy over a cliff, that's not a good value.
Yeah, but the value of the money has been plummeting like a rock across multiple presidencies, in fact, generations at this point.
Oh, I know. I remember Nixon. I remember Jerry Ford. I remember Reagan. They all devalued it.
Why did you skip over Carter and Clinton?
And then when they never prosecuted Oliver North, who created the crack epidemic, they continue to provide protection for him and not recompense. This guy.
Now, do you think if like the Republicans were all got what they deserve, past Republican presidents, if we had more Democrats, then this problem would have been non-existent or different?
Well, I'm Green Party myself.
Okay.
And my grandfather was a Republican. He was elected in St. Louis in 1902.
Right.
And he was a small business Republican fighting the Rockefellers,
Sure.
big business,
Right.
and fighting the trust. And my mother was an elected Democrat in St. Louis in 1972. But I'm a Green Party because old money gets into those into those institutions, and now what I was talking about with cryptocurrency versus the value of the U.S. dollar, we're going to have to come up with some local currencies because Donald Trump is so ruining the value of the dollar that you're not going to be able to buy shoestrings with it. And you could grow hemp.
So how would
and
you
make
spend?
shoestrings.
How would you spin up a local currency?
Well, every town has got a favorite librarian or school teacher or doctor or something like that. You come up with a money that only the people in town recognize, and you don't worry about whether London or
What
Paris
do you think the
approves.
value of that across a global economy would be?
It doesn't matter. It's like if somebody can, like Elon Musk. The guy is probably one of the biggest polluters in the world, and he claims he's worth $1 trillion as a polluter. That means he poisons us and gets away with never cleaning it up. And we then declare that he's a trillionaire? No, the guy's a polluter.
So is
and
money just a
he-
convention, like we kind of just declare it or stuff? Does money actually reflect real underlying utility and value in an economy?
It's supposed to reflect reputation. Right?
Just
It's supposed
reputation,
to.
not like, say, underlying utility of certain products and services.
Well, reputation, it could be a reputation of your product.
Sure.
It could be a reputation of your service, or it could be a reputation of your just goodwill. But if somebody comes along and steals a bunch of paper and claims that they have $100 million, or they steal somebody's gold, or they steal somebody's Cadillac, and then claim it's theirs and run their lives on it, and the other person is left without it, does the first person lose their reputation? No, money has become so convoluted that it can be stolen, and somebody can get away with it, and then
I'm just like I find myself oddly agreeing with you on the big picture of how screwed up the monetary system is of the country. But I would suggest, and I'm being serious, not gotcha, not trying to argue, you should research Bitcoin more and at least the value proposition and the case for it beyond Donald Trump. Don't listen to Trump. Go find somebody else. But there's a real potential, and it's trying to solve the problem that you're laying out in many ways.
Well, if you want to look at it, take a Bitcoin down to the bank and try to get an exchange rate. They can't do it, right? And the idea that
There's a
politicians-
24/7 like exchanges where it's bought and sold at every second at the moment. And right now, what's being held up in Congress, the Clarity Act, is pretty much because the big banks want more of the action than the upcomers in the crypto industry.
Well, if
That's
you
what
know,
the whole hang-up's over.
I've been studying Bitcoin for 20 years or longer maybe, because those guys, it started out, I'm the guy from San Francisco, right? I'm here now, and south of us is Silicon Valley, where Bitcoin was created. And originally it was that these dot-com inventors wanted to get on Wall Street, but they couldn't really convince the brokers about doing it. So Bitcoin was really a way that they could invest in each other. You know, this inventor could invest in a neighboring inventor, and they could all come up with, actually create their product. And after a while, the gun runners said, "Hey, wait, maybe the prostitution gangs, the drug runners." They said, "Hey, wow, Bitcoin, secret money, wow, that's pretty nice." And so the exchange rate, when you say there is an exchange rate, and the bank says there isn't, is it really the cash prostitution crowd being able to pay off a claim? And they basically get that cash back in circulation by selling it to some fool that claims that he wasted enough electricity to value it. So
Well, no,
can't get the
but
exchange rate.
David, I think you haven't researched it. You should read Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper.
Oh, well, I'm pretty familiar with it for years and years and years ago.
So what?
that
How
you
does
can't
Bitcoin work
trust
then?
Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin was supposed to be the receipts for your action, right? And that if you actually did a transaction with somebody, then your receipt became available to everybody. It went into a library. Well, if all of a sudden somebody says, "Hey, I want to run a coup. I want to bring down a nation. I want to bring down a county. I want to bring down a state. I want to bring down a region. I'm going to pay with Bitcoin." The receipts should be there. And
Yes, that's the
proof of
blockchain. It's a
criminality-
public ledger. Yeah.
Yeah, and the proof of the criminality should be there. And these boys, like I say, the politicians are being tricked into believing that Bitcoin can go into their campaign coffers and pay for an election, and then the allegiance goes to the Bitcoin instead of the U.S. dollar. So the more a corrupt politician accepts Bitcoin, the more the nation gets weakened.
Yet the dollars are the thing that can be produced over and over and over again, and are the main thing used to finance most of the wars, finance most of what the government does, finance most of the black market and illegal activity in the world. And yet Bitcoin is this thing where you can't have politicians that run it. In fact, the politicians don't run it. In fact, nobody runs it. And there will only it'll be the hardest money ever created.
I mean, we don't
It is
know
the
if
hardest money
AI
ever created. And you say there's not an exchange rate. I've watched it go from $90 in 2013. It's sitting at 63 off of a high of $125,000 last year.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I was doing some work for a guy. He wanted to pay me when it was about 1,100. But
Right, but the
I still
idea
don't-
is like this will probably end up being your long-term store of value, like one of the many long-term stores of values, along with things like gold and real estate, and just go down the list. This will be another option, and in fact, that tends to be what's happening right now, and why there's this big fight between the incumbent banks who tried to kill this and ignore this for the longest time. That this is becoming a global asset. You saw the Iranians even talking about, the Bitcoin thing with tolls in the Strait of Hormuz. I think this is more akin to a new invention that nobody is in particular going to control.
You remember the Bible has the Tower of Babel?
Yeah,
And
man.
to me, the Tower of Babel is when the artificial value is higher than supply. So you got supply and demand to pull off a project, and if the value of the so-called money gets so exaggerated that it goes well beyond all the fish in the sea and all the crops ever grown, all the minerals out of the ground. And sure enough, they did that about 20-something years ago. It was the LIBOR scandal, London Interbank Offer Rate. And the value of the entire earth was said to be $24 trillion. But the LIBOR scandal was interest rates that had jacked up so much that it was $350 trillion was owed. You would have to dig up all of the mines of the earth, 15 times. You'd have to have all the fish in the sea.
Yes, but that
15
came from
times.
the fiat money system. It's very different. But David, I always appreciate your calls.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Right, and Bitcoin is not fiat money. But I appreciate
Sure
the
it
call,
is.
man. No, it's not. For a guy who's claimed that it's 20 years. Well, you're Green Party, so, go get high or something, man.
Okay.
Environmentalist libertarians, essentially. Well, and then there's like a socialist aspect. It's like maybe he's a fan of Henry George.
I really want to take this fork and stab it in my eye.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No, I was just fascinated.
I know you. I know. I get that way too around certain people where I just wanted, I want to study them because how could you not be ugly, but be so dumb?
Oh, it's like I kept pulling a string and new answers kept coming. I'm like, that's non-responsive to the thing I just said. But Here, take this fan. Pull off a little bit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I could
Thank you
have
again.
used this fan actually during that. That would have helped
I'm
out a
sorry.
lot.
Here, anyway, we'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. On the inflation front, a bit of a victory for the U.S. economy as the higher prices and the pace at which they were rising slowed down a bit last month. The cost of gas, clothing, and used cars fell, providing some relief for consumers, though much of that progress is now at risk because the war with Iran seems to be heating up again. Prices dropped 0.4% in June from May. That's the largest monthly drop in 4 years. Meanwhile, Federal Reserve Chair Kevin Warsh has pledged to make high inflation a thing of the past among the promises he made today in his first ever congressional testimony as Fed chairman. Fellow U.S. senators today continuing to remember South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. Meanwhile, South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster has appointed Graham's sister Darlene Graham Nordone to complete the remainder of his Senate term. It comes to an end in January. This is SRN News.
Here's something nobody tells you about owning a home. While you were at work, your house was working too. Property values went up. You paid down principal. Your house quietly earned you tens of thousands of dollars, maybe a lot more, and never asked for a thing in return. The average American homeowner has built 6 figures in equity over the last few years. 6 figures! And most have never collected a penny of it. Fellowship Home Loans helps you collect. For over 20 years, Mike and Brian have shown families how to put that equity to work. A HELOC, a cash-out refi. Money for the renovation, the debt consolidation you need, or that project you've been putting off. Everything is done in-house. One roof, one team, all with a servant-led mentality. People who treat you like family. Your home already paid you. Go cash the check. Go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G or call 800-510-MIKE. 800-510-6453. 800-510-MIKE. Fellowship Home Loans. Mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 8193.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Victoryland. The winning is 24/7 at Victoryland. Go where the winners go every day, and you can be a winner too. Victoryland, I-85, exit 22, shorter. Admission 19 and over.
Hi, everybody. Be flexible with your plans. Showers and thunderstorms will be rather widespread today, especially in the afternoon and evening hours before they fade out. Not every town will be affected, but some towns will get some very heavy downpours. High today held down by clouds and showers up to about 86. Tonight's low in the 70s. For Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and probably Saturday as well, we ease back to a more typical pattern of spotty storms. And high temperatures will return to the 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. Montgomery police are investigating a Monday morning shooting that left a man seriously injured. The shooting happened just before 4 a.m. in the 3700 block of Audubon Road, where an adult male was wounded by gunfire. The unidentified victim was taken to a nearby hospital in serious condition. No additional details regarding suspect or motive have been released. The teenager who drowned at Jackson Lake Saturday morning has been identified. Several people were swimming nearby when 17-year-old Alex Reyes stepped into a drop-off and did not resurface. Witnesses said he did not know how to swim. Alex was about to begin his senior year at Stanhope Elmore High School. The Montgomery Zoo has announced the arrival of 2 new residents this week. 2 critically endangered American red wolves may now be seen at the zoo's North American Trail. The American red wolf is the most endangered canine species in the world, with fewer than 30 remaining in the wild. Around 200 American red wolves live in managed care facilities such as the Montgomery Zoo. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Welcome to Eclectic Coins, Montgomery's largest coin dealer, specializing in buying and selling investment-grade gold and silver coins. And they have a large selection of rare coins and coins from around the world. Visit them at 543 Northeastern Boulevard or on the web at eclecticcoins.com. Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know, go.
This is Frank Bertarelli with Zap Pest Control. We're here today to thank Blue Water Broadcasting. We're now over 31 years in business. If you don't believe in radio advertisement, give these guys a chance. You won't be disappointed. Zap Pest Control is still on the move today, thanks to the friendships we've made with Blue Water Broadcasting.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's Conversational Radio Show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I hate that you weren't here the other day when Ray Bowles had to call in early and talk about his big adventure up to Washington, D.C. for the 250th celebration. But that was like one of the coolest things he's ever
we
done.
talked, I think we talked that morning about it. He was telling me, I was very envious that, I mean, he talking about just going in, rocking, and coming back. Going to see a great, what I would consider a great life-changing moment to D.C. and then come back. Yeah, pretty cool.
And, you know, it's amazing, too, that he's set up such a great business that he can do that sort of thing. Like, he knows that, you know, he can take that day trip real quick and the store's going to be fine. Now, it was 4th of July, so they were closed.
But also he's got his dad.
Yeah.
You know, and I think if they weren't closed, his dad probably wouldn't let him take the day off to do it.
Probably not. But it's just a great family-run business.
Yes.
Been run by the family for generations, and they get the job done. You just call them up, 285-8117. They'll come out, do a free in-home measurement, and they lay down carpet, traditional hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, even like things, you know, like tile.
You can do tile.
Like ceramic tile for a bathroom or a new backsplash in the kitchen, countertops. They can help you. That number again for Prattville Carpet, 285-8117. We'll talk to Ray, hopefully, a little
We'll talk to him this afternoon.
In the program. Again, 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. I don't know. I just got an odd call that said, Joey, doesn't Jesus tell us not to judge others? And I'm like, what I should have said was, it sounds like you're judging me right now, man.
Ooh.
Funny how that works. No, we shouldn't pretend like we know the intentions and thoughts of everybody's heart. But we should be able to use our own discernment when somebody who's called me 5 times and is all over the map. It's like, whew, man. Whew. Anyway, 272-9228. It's 334-272-9228. Now, I told you about this thing I've been doing. Well, I'll just get into this.
Okay.
But, you know, I got stuck in the book of Job in 2020 during COVID. Like, well, I should at least look at the Old Testament.
Okay.
And got stuck in the book of Job. Maybe got into a little Ecclesiastes. But Job was a tough one. I'm like, he's got a lot of good points. Like, what? I have to go through all this suffering for what? From the book of Job, chapter 14. In fact, chapter 14 is just a doozy. But Job says, mortals born of woman are of few days and full of trouble. They spring up like flowers and wither away. Like fleeting shadows, they do not endure. Dadgum. So when I'm reading this stuff in 2020, I'm like, it's onto something. But I didn't have the whole story. And the answer to Job, which is not, you know, there's an answer in the book of Job.
Right.
Like, who are you? Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? When I created all these beasts of the field, fish of the sea, when I created the Goliath and the Leviathan? Who are you? You're going to pretend like you understand all this. That's not a very satisfying answer when you're like, yeah, but why all this suffering? What? But you ain't God. So check yourself. But I started more recently, and I mean, especially in these last 140 something days, but even before then, we're fully going back into the fold of my Catholic upbringing. I started to realize, oh, there is an answer. A very good answer to Job, and it's not just God saying, be humble. So again, mortals born of woman are few of days and full of trouble. They spring up like flowers and wither away like fleeting shadows. They do not endure. The cashier, it's actually a very fresh market. The cashier, whose lovely face I must have seen 100 times, looked at me with an extra twinkle in her eye as I approached the checkout aisle, smiling as I had never seen her smile. I'd caught her usual grin given to customers many times before, yet this one was different, more genuine, more beautiful, a glimpse of who she was when she wasn't at work. One of those smiles that reveals what it's trying to hide.
Mm-hmm.
Though she was too polite to say anything, her expression asked the question without asking it. Who are the flowers for? Yeah, flowers. I was buying flowers. Never before had she seen me purchase flowers. Yet there they were on the cashier's table right next to the chicken salad and gourmet coleslaw my grandfather had requested. A beautiful bouquet of pink roses that changed her smile beautifully anew. If she had asked the question hidden behind her smile, I might have just answered, for you. The flowers are for you. She was just that wonderful to see. But she didn't ask, and it wasn't meant to be. So I paid the bill and went on my way, knowing the actual role these flowers would play, not as a gift, but as a reminder to look in the mirror each day and say, memento mori. You see, I didn't just buy myself flowers. I also bought a replica of a human skull online. Life and death now sit side by side on my bathroom shelf. It's a reminder of my genesis. From dust I came, and to dust I will return. Yet it's also in remembrance of an even greater promise, you might say an answer, of a gift that no man could ever earn. Indeed, I keep this memento mori living. To keep it living, I must now buy flowers every week. And beyond its mere decoration, this ritual has become a reminder how bleak the world can seem. After all, I only needed to buy one skull and put it in its place. Yet each week the flowers wither, and as I watch their petals fall, that same exact skull, unmoved, stares me in the face. Is this not how the world can seem at first glance? That life is so fleeting in the face of death's permanence? These flowers that wither and fade each week, are these just like the lives of mortal men? Looking at the memento on my shelf, each day I can't help but think of Job's despairing lament. If someone dies, will they live again? Yet I still buy flowers each week, each and every week. I buy new flowers because I know the world is not as it seems. I buy new flowers because I believe life is worth living even in the face of death. I buy new flowers to remember that whoever loses his life for him will find eternal breath. I buy new flowers because Job's question has already been answered in full, that a new garden from the font of living water has sprung up once for all from the place of the skull. I buy new flowers knowing their beauty will fade, yet beauty does not die. I buy new flowers to see the truth that no smile can hide. I buy new flowers in memento to defy the fallen world's lie that because life withers away, God does not abide. I'm learning each week not to grasp at the beautiful things of the world, whether a flower, a smile, or the twinkle of an eye. Enjoy them as they are, then let them go. Be willing to say goodbye. And trust your heart not in the things of this world, even those that might be good, beautiful, true, and blessed. Instead, surrender it all to God. And just as St. Augustine confessed, quoting Augustine, what in you has begun to rot will flower again. What in you has languished will be made whole. What in you has trickled away will be given form again, will be made new, and will be bound again to you. They shall not pull you down to where they are falling, but they shall stand with you, and they shall abide forever before the ever-standing and ever-abiding God. That's at 1819 News today. 272-9228. And it struck me as I was kind of, after I bought flowers a few weeks, I'm like, oh, like that thing, that fake skull. I looked for a real replica. It was like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Like, no,
I could have hooked you up.
Oh, you could have gotten, I don't know about that, Eddie, baby.
You wanted a real one.
Oh, it's like, what is Eddie doing to make extra money? He's a grave digger at the night.
Oh, I might know some people that have inventory.
Oh, they have inventory. So they're
the grave diggers. not
yeah.
me.
Yeah. We just exhumed this one the other day. But, you know, it's in particular, too, like wanting to grasp at things like a good, beautiful moment, and you do too much of that good thing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that could be as simple as like, this cake is really good. And instead of having one or even two slices, you eat the whole cake. Don't eat the whole cake. Because then that cake is, you have a stomachache.
Mm-hmm.
You're not sleeping well. And you can think of many other things that ain't just cake.
Right.
Maybe like a big old piece of pie.
Sure.
But we do that in so many things. And sometimes you can do that with people. You can do that with, of course, stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I want more stuff just because I want more stuff, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And if I go buy more stuff for a moment, I forget how miserable I am. Or if I take this hit, or if I drink this shot, or if I have sex with this person, or I get flattery and approval for all these beautiful things I'm doing, right? Now, there are good, true, beautiful, and blessed things in the world, and you should appreciate them for what they are and understand that they all come from God.
Yes.
And when you try to, say, supplant God by grabbing onto them too long, holding onto them too long, that's when you become bitter, resentful, and you forget your place.
Mm-hmm.
You forget your place.
That's the truth.
You know, there's something I watched yesterday just to keep this theme going.
Yeah.
It was Matt Fradd sitting down with a guy named Peter Kreeft. Now, I don't think Peter Kreeft is well known outside of Catholic circles, but he's written something like hundreds of books. Brilliant writer, great at just tackling all sorts of theological issues and just life issues. And Peter Kreeft he's been writing for decades. He's 89, and his wife just died, 60-something years. And so he sat down with Matt Fradd. They've done many shows together over the years, and it was about a 3-hour podcast. And the opening's really him remembering his wife, how they first met, and like how they were the square peg in the round hole. Like it really was, like it shouldn't have worked. He was this introverted fella, and she's this extroverted Italian from New York. Like, I mean, it just shouldn't have worked.
Right.
But you hear kind of this whole love story and stuff. And there are certain moments that I'm not going to play here. You can go watch it, Matt Fradd, Peter Kreeft, if you really are that interested. But to see a very lucid, very brilliant 89-year-old man who just lost his wife talk about what that's like. And beyond just the moment of death, but talk about what it's like to be married for 60-something years. It's moving. And there's one part that I do remember where he said at the wake, and this must have been a few weeks ago, a number called him. He missed it, but a number called him, and he realized that's the number my wife had 20 years ago. And when he tried to call it back, it said this number's disconnected. Yeah. He's like, yeah, Maria was always trying to get things done. She's already trying to get things done. So at one point later, like they talk about C.S. Lewis and Tolkien, they talk about what's the meaning of happiness. They talk about all sorts of stuff in that 3 hours. And at 89, Peter Kreeft can still talk. Matt Fradd asked him about, well, if you had to give advice to a young couple that's about to get married or thinking about getting married, maybe they just were married, but they're thinking about it. It's a boyfriend, girlfriend. What would be your advice now that you're on the other side of a 60-year something marriage? And this is, well, that moment. Let's listen in.
What advice? I know I've asked this, but I want to take another swing at it, give you another opportunity. What advice do you have someone watching this who's newly married or who is about to be?
Do you think that when you are very old and your wife is very old and ugly and wrinkled and fat and not very bright or even nasty, that you will still find her beautiful? If so, marry her. The last view I had of my wife in the nursing home, about an hour after she died, I fell in love with her again. Here is a wasted, emaciated, wrinkled, suffering body. It's as beautiful as a crucifix. Because that body ain't going to last, but the soul is. So if you don't love her soul, but just love her body, don't get married.
It's a pretty heavy podcast.
Oh, yeah.
But again,
Good advice.
very good.
Solid advice.
Very good. But the whole episode's worth watching. Because when you realize that sort of perspective, man,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to have that sort of perspective and one of the most tragic of times, and I mean, he talks about it openly. It's not like it's sunshine and lollipops by any means.
No.
It is a true tragedy, especially the person you love the most. And they talk about how it's like, especially married 60 years, like part of you dies. Like you become the same person over that
Big part.
point of in time. But yeah, I've read a few of Peter Kreeft's books back when I was much younger. I need to jump back into them now that I've come back into the fold. But he's always been a brilliant man, and I just didn't know that. There's one hit my uncle, the priest, gave me. It was Peter Kreeft, and he does these like Socratic dialogues, but it was essentially Socrates arguing with somebody about abortion. And it's brilliantly done. Brilliantly done. You know, and it's funny what, after 20 years of being astray, I remember sitting in my room on County Downs Road when I was 17 reading that. And then you see that man in the flesh having this sort of serious conversation. It's like, it's funny how life comes back around.
Full circle.
272-9228. And this is another one just because, keep the segment going in this way.
Okay.
This is not as much of a tearjerker, but it's an analogy to transform your perspective on sin. Let's listen.
We're insane. I like to use the image of the Godfather versus the Father. God the Father makes you an offer you can refuse. The Godfather makes you an offer you can't refuse. So he gives you only one hand. God gives you two. And every time you make a moral choice, God says, in my right hand is what you know is the secret of all joy. Namely, say to me, your will be done, because I'm perfect and I'm love. And in my left hand is the secret of all misery. Say no to me, because I'm the secret of all joy and all love. And that's the difference between good and evil. Now, which will you choose this time? My right hand or my left hand? And our reply to him is, well, God, I should choose the right hand, but the left hand is awfully tempting. Let me try it. Maybe it'll work this time. It's never worked before. It's always made me miserable at the end. Einstein famously defined insanity as doing the same thing over and over again and thinking it'll work this time. That's original sin. Fortunately, God has great love for his severely brain damaged children.
Hope we all are that lucid at 89 years old after
Very
all
much so.
It's daggone, man. Yeah, it's great. Great conversation. Anyway, 272-9228. It's 334-272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And there at Pest Pro, Ashley and that great team are ready to help you out with any and all of your pest control needs. Could be you're just looking for a great local company that can be consistent, is always showing up when they need to show up.
They do.
Their basic pest control package gets the job done, and often they don't even have to go inside, bother you inside. They can just spray around the property, spray around the house.
Yep.
And of course, if you're looking for a little extra service in terms of like termite inspection protection, maybe you do just have this acute problem outside with wasp or yellow jackets or fire ants. Could be just something in particular you want to get done.
Yeah.
Or mosquitoes. Which, I don't like mosquitoes.
I don't either.
I've relived it some this year.
Yeah, have you?
Yeah, that 4th of July I was hanging out with all the folks in Cloverdale.
Yeah.
I'm like, they need Pest Pro out here so we can actually enjoy grilling amber. I'm like, how am I supposed to talk about my life with a welt on my forehead? Right.
Holy moly.
So y'all check out Pest Pro today. You can always learn more at ppsriverregion.com or just search for Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. They have a very active Facebook page, or call them direct, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Dewan Walker has been an Alabama Power customer since 1999.
We're being squeezed on every side. We hear about Alabama Power freezing their rates. That's the best news we can get. Alabama Power rate freeze will provide real relief for Alabama working families. Alabama Power is protecting their customers by making data centers pay their full cost. It makes me feel at peace. Alabama Power is really stepping up and doing what's right for customers.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Our front paws, hands or feet.
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better Business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
We get this question all the time.
Do you handle that?
Buying or selling a home?
Yes.
Commercial?
Yes.
Land or investments?
Absolutely. Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. One team.
Every real estate move. 334-322-0662.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
This is your roving reporter. Today I'm talking with a prospector. That's right, man. I'm prospecting for gold. You dig? No, but it looks like you do. And you know the first thing I'm going to do when I strike it rich? What's that? I'm going to hire David Ernest to be my money man. You mean everyone's favorite asset preservationist? That is correct, man. I'm going to call him up at 833-596-7233. 833-596-SAFE. You know, I've heard a lot of good things about David Ernest. You know, he's the best money man around with over 40 years of experience. Experience is necessary, especially when you're digging for gold. That's right, man. And I can see that you don't have very much experience. What do you mean, man? Well, you have the little plastic bucket and shovel like a kid would take to the beach. Yeah, man, well, I want to start out small and kind of pace myself up until I strike it rich. Well, maybe you should call David Ernest first. You think he's got a shovel? Never know till you ask. I dig, man.
Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this, listen close, you get a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
Hi, everybody. Be flexible with your plans. Showers and thunderstorms will be rather widespread today, especially in the afternoon and evening hours before they fade out. Not every town will be affected, but some towns will get some very heavy downpours. High today held down by clouds and showers up to about 86. Tonight's low in the 70s. For Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and probably Saturday as well, we ease back to a more typical pattern of spotty storms. And high temperatures will return to the 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. This part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing, and they're at Cole Plumbing. James and the team ready to help you out with any and all of your plumbing needs. Could be a big job, especially a big problem like a massive water leak inside or outside your home. They can fix that without causing a bunch of extra hassle, tearing out a bunch of drywall or digging up a huge hole in your yard. They can find that problem with precision expertise, fix it up right. And, of course, they can also help you with smaller issues. Maybe you just got a drippy faucet and you can't fix it, or you can't get a drain unclogged and you've poured all sorts of corrosive chemicals down there and it just won't do it. They can help you with those sorts of things. And, of course, they can also help you upgrade to, say, like a tankless water heater system, or maybe you're just looking for like a taller toilet as you get up there in age. It's much easier on the hips to have a taller toilet and on the knees as well. So, y'all check out Cole Plumbing today. You can always go to coleplumbing.com. Or just give them a call, 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
Call on Cole.
call on Cole.
I've used those guys. They're great.
Dick Brubaker is here. He's subbing in for Eddie. How are you doing today?
Not bad, not bad. It's always a pleasure to sub for Fast Eddie. You know, you got to be an important guy to come in here and sub for Eddie. So, and I want you to know, I feel like I have kind of arrived. Somebody just sent me this, that if you go to Wikipedia and you type in my old alma mater, Montgomery Academy, and then it says notable graduates, I'm on the list.
You're a notable graduate.
I'm a notable graduate.
From the Montgomery Academy.
From the Montgomery Academy. So, you know, awesome. So there you go.
That just happened.
That's right. Well, as far as I know, this is the first time I've ever known about it. So,
yeah, I don't think I have a Wikipedia page at all. Like, I don't think I've even getting close to that. That's pretty cool.
Well, I've been working on it a little longer than you. I'm 65. So.
Yeah. Well, real quick, before we get into what we want to discuss today, let's hit one of these phone calls. You're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, Joey. This is Kevin.
Hey, Kevin. How are you?
I'm fine. Hello, Mr. Brubaker.
Hey, Kevin.
I just want to tell you, your father used to run you out of all those fishing ponds where the old Brubaker School is now.
Yeah, sure.
I grew up in Carriage Hill, so we'd walk out there.
Oh, well, you one of the kids from Carriage Hills that used to come over there and poach in our pond?
Yes, sir. I've caught some big crappies.
Yeah, man.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question since you're on now. What do you think about this theory of a Montgomery bubble?
Bubble. In what regard?
Yeah, give me a little more.
Okay. It's the military has control of the weather.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Do I think the military is controlling the weather over Montgomery? Is that what you're asking me?
That's why the storms always split as they come close to Montgomery?
Well, first of all, they don't always split.
No.
I mean, so that would be my first thing. And I think contrails have been around as long as there have been high-flying aircraft. I don't believe in that every time you see a contrail in the sky, the military is putting some chemical in the air to change the weather. But I'm going to tell you this. Montgomery right now needs all the help it can get. And if the military can create a bubble around Montgomery and protect us from Democrat mayors, I'll take the tornadoes if they can just protect us from our current city government.
Thank you very much. That's great. But Joey, you know what I'm saying? How the weather's, everything will split.
Yeah, I've seen that, yes.
Okay.
But it doesn't happen all the time. We had quite the
we've had
a storm season,
yeah,
like this season alone. Well, I appreciate it, Kevin. And by the way, I got a text from somebody very high up in the Catholic community here in Montgomery.
Yeah.
He might be a county commissioner. Said he'll add me to the Wikipedia page as a notable graduate of Montgomery Catholic.
There you go. All right, then.
Thank you.
There we go.
No, you mentioning that means this gets to happen for me. We're actually both on Wikipedia.
See, life is good, you know?
So just the preview one, like as we get into this topic more and more, but you called me about a lot of folks still sitting on death row. And the reason they're sitting on death row is not because a jury convicted them.
Right.
The jury said, hey, the sentence should be life without parole.
Exactly.
And a judge said, nah, it should be the death penalty.
Right. 25 people are on death row through a process called judicial override. The Supreme Court, and by the time Alabama the legislature got rid of judicial override in Alabama in 2017, and by that time, we were the only state in the union with an active judicial override statute. And the reason, judicial override, for those of you who don't know, it's the idea that your right to a trial by jury doesn't extend to sentencing. Now, no other state in the union uses that theory. Under our common law, which our laws are based on, and I think it's a good thing. Under common law, any crime of violence is not a crime against an individual. It's a crime against the peace of the community.
Okay.
That's why, like in a murder trial, the trial takes place not in the community where the victim's from, but it's in the community where the violence occurred, because that's the community whose peace has been offended.
Yeah.
And the jury is chosen from that community. And the idea is that community's standards should apply when determining guilt and determining sentencing. Well, judicial override threw that out in regard to sentencing. And the legislature finally got to the point where we decided in the Senate, the vote was 34-1, that your right to a trial by jury is so fundamental that the legislature doesn't have the right to infringe on it by removing sentencing from that. Okay, so where does that leave us? There are 25 people on out. Now, look, these people committed bad crimes. And let me say this. No one's talking about letting anybody out of jail ever.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
These are all murderers. They've been convicted by a jury of their peers. But for whatever reason, the jurors who heard the case did not think a capital sentence was appropriate. The judge overrode them. And in 25 cases said, no, we're going to kill him anyway. Well, in 2017, the legislature repealed judicial override. Governor Ivey, I think it was her first bill she signed after she took over as governor, was the repeal of judicial override. And most legislators thought, the question came up about, should we worry about this not being retroactive?
Oh, right. Great.
As do we need to worry about it? And most of us were, no. Governor Ivey signed the bill. She'll commute the sentences. Well, here we are, 9 years later. And Governor Ivey has not commuted those sentences. And now a guy named Jeffrey Lee is about to be executed in the near future, who was put on death row through judicial override. Now, look, y'all, I'm all for the death penalty, but there are two things that are important if you're going to execute people. Number one is you better make darn sure they're guilty. The second one is your standard of justice needs to be consistent. Now, for these 25 people, there is no question that had they been convicted after 2017, none of them would be on death row. None of them. And it doesn't make sense to me for us to execute 25 people based on a law that the legislature repealed and that the governor has agreed with the legislature in that repeal. I mean, if the governor signs a death warrant on Jeffrey Lee, I fully expect the federal courts to intervene and put the whole death penalty statute into question. I mean, the governor needs to commute these sentences to what the jury originally said, which is life without. And let me say one other thing. If Judge Roy Moore, Drayton Neighbors, Judge Harwood, current justice, Supreme Court justice, have all said the governor needs to commute these sentences. When we were repealing judicial override, not one single circuit judge lobbied the legislature and said we need to keep this prerogative, that we need to keep this practice. Even the judges who had this power thought it was a bad idea. They thought it corrupted the whole justice process. And just to add insult to serious injury to the common law, if you go back and look at the statistics, in the 11 months preceding any election, going back quadrennium after quadrennium after quadrennium, the number of judicial overrides doubled. Now, I'm not saying that judges were consciously putting more people on death row in the lead up to an election, but I am saying, having been an elected official myself, you act differently right before an election. And I think that applies to elected judges as well. And the statistics speaks for themselves. I mean, I really hope Governor Ivey has somebody listening to the Joey Clark Show and will consider commuting these sentences. I mean, you shouldn't execute 25 people under a law that's been repealed that everybody agrees was a terrible practice.
Yeah.
So come on, Governor Ivey, commute those sentences, put them in life without forever, and let's just move on. Let's find a new issue.
And it's clear she has the power to do this.
Oh,
like, no question.
Yeah. It's weird. In Alabama, the governor, most states, she could even have the power to pardon. Not in Alabama. Because of all the corruption during I'm afraid, somebody will come get me, but Wallace administration over pardons and the way pardons are being done. They established the Pardons and Parole Board to separate that. So the only extrajudiciary power left to the governor is the power to commute sentences. And in this case, she would be commuting the sentences back to what the jury recommended in the first place. So, And I'm going to tell you something. I'm 65, statistically, 10 years, I will be meeting the Lord. I don't know of anybody in the Bible that was condemned for being a little extra merciful. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy.
Amen.
And this isn't even mercy. This is life without parole in an Alabama prison. I mean, for heaven's sakes. But I just, I felt strongly enough to ask Joey to come on this show because I was part of the legislature that repealed it. I sponsored the bill in the Senate. Who was it in the House? Chris England sponsored it in the House. If we execute 25 people under a repealed statute, that'll be 25 unjust killings. And, the right to trial by jury matters to Republicans. If you believe in limited government, do yourself a favor. Call the governor. Ask her to commute these sentences, starting with Jeffrey Lee's.
And I'd imagine people have been trying to, since y'all did this in 2017, over your decade, trying to get the governor to do this. And has there been any reception whatsoever?
No. Well, I do know of several prominent, very prominent Alabamians who've tried to get meetings with the governor on this subject and have been fobbed off on staffers. So, that doesn't necessarily mean that the governor's not interested in commuting the sentences.
Right.
But it's not a hopeful sign. And, she has served as governor a long time because she's been elected twice in her own right. She served out, 2 years of Bentley's term?
Mm-hmm.
So, and, you would think, her legacy as governor, as the longest serving governor Alabama's ever had, at least in consecutive years. I mean, George Wallace probably served longer in total, but Kay will have served 10 years consecutively. You think she'd be thinking about what her legacy is. And if I was the governor, I would hate for my legacy to be from all the legal textbooks from now on. Hey, look, at Alabama executed 25 people under a law that they all agreed was so bad that the legislature repealed it. Like I say, in the Senate, the vote was 34-1. I mean, there was no support for this law.
And that same exact governor signed it. And it's almost like saying to these folks, well, sorry, it was just we did it too late for y'all. Sorry.
Well, and
I don't know, for folks who say that, like, oh, you're going to removing even more deterrence. I'm like, deterrence is already out the window, given how long it takes to put somebody to death who's on death row.
Well, I'm all for the death penalty as long as it's evenly applied.
Yes.
But in this case, they won't be evenly applied.
Right.
You'll have one standard for people convicted before 2017 and a totally different standard for people convicted after. And we're not talking about letting anybody out of jail. I mean, we're just talking about what anybody listening to my voice would want. If you were on trial for your life, you would expect to have a trial by a jury of your peers and have whatever the jury recommended, that would be your sentence. And the jurors represent the community under the common law. And judicial override just flew in the face of all of that. And so the time has come, I think, to finally put this deal to bed. And believe me, if life without, for these 25 people, I don't know why the jury didn't give them capital sentences. I mean, a lot of them committed horrible crimes.
Yes.
I mean, like the guy, Jeffrey Lee, killed 2 people in a pawn shop.
Yeah, I'm looking at somebody wrote up actually a Wikipedia saying he killed American singer Jimmy Ellis and Elaine Thompson during a pawn shop robbery December 12th, 1998.
Yeah.
So again, wow.
And it was bad. I mean, but for whatever reason, the jury, the 12 people who heard all the evidence, and the prosecution asked for a capital sentence, the jury said no.
7-5, they voted life without parole.
They voted for life without. And so the community spoke. And that was true in these 25 other cases for whatever reason.
Have you heard any arguments from the folks who say, no, we shouldn't do this?
No. Matter of fact, the most interesting part of this is that no judge has come out publicly and said either keep judicial override, and also no judge has publicly said the governor should not commute these sentences.
Right.
And the three judges who have spoken out, Drayton Neighbors, Roy Moore, and Justice Harwood, have all said she should commute it.
And this, because you moved past it quickly, but this is important. This is like a constitutional understanding nationwide at this point.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Alabama was a clear outlier when we repealed the statute. And if you believe in limited government, and if you believe in the fundamental right to trial by jury, every definition of trial by jury I've ever heard includes sentencing. So that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to protect the integrity of the jury process. And, the governor could do this in a day, and there is going to be absolutely nobody who's going to complain about it. The families of the victims, they have had plenty of opportunities to argue in favor of keeping these people on death row. None of them have. And let's face it, even if the governor acts to the limit of her power and returns these verdicts to what the jury said, nobody is ever getting out of jail.
Right.
We're not talking about clemency. We're talking about a commutation to the jury's original recommendation, which in all of these cases is life without parole.
Yeah, and on that particular Jeffrey Lee case, he was scheduled to be executed by nitrogen hypoxia June the 11th. It was stayed by a federal court, finding it unconstitutional to do it that way. And so it's been rescheduled to be executed by lethal injection. And I'm not sure what the actual date is from just looking.
I don't know that a second death warrant has been issued, which is one reason I want to talk about this now.
It looks here on June 12th this year, a day after the execution was stayed, Attorney General Steve Marshall filed a new motion seeking another execution date for Lee and requested that Lee be executed by the default method of lethal injection. In the filing, the state's contention was that the court order only barred the state from executing Lee via nitrogen gas, but it did not restrict the state from using other method legally available in Alabama, which consisted both of lethal injection and the electric chair to carry out Lee's death sentence. So I guess that's pending.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, the Constitution's pretty clear that juries have a right to put people to death.
Yes.
It has less to say about a judge overruling a jury's recommendation of sentencing. But I'll tell you this. I've got no problem with if a jury hears all the evidence and imposes a capital sentence, I got no problem with it. I know we may disagree on that.
No.
But I got no problem with it.
I don't have a problem with it either.
But I do have a problem with a jury hearing all the evidence, failing to impose a capital sentence, and having an elected judge just randomly arbitrarily decide that, no, we're going to put him to death anyway. That not only violates that person's right to a trial by jury, it violates mine.
You're here.
And so, these things matter. And for the whole integrity of the legal process, I wish, and Governor Ivey has shown some sensitivity to death penalty issues before. She has stayed executions on at least two people I can think of.
Sonny Burton in particular, I remember recently.
Well, and remember when they botched a couple of executions in a row by lethal injection? She issued a moratorium. I don't remember how long it was, 60, 90 days, and just so the Department of Corrections could get its act together and we wouldn't have another botched execution. She didn't have to do any of that, but she did. And so she is a governor who has paid attention to these sorts of issues before. And I'm hoping she'll pay attention to this one, because these 25 sentences need to be what the jury decided they should be. Well, especially when you look at the fact that half of these 25, the judicial overrides are in election years. And that's
Yeah.
A
they're-
whole different set of problems.
Well, I got to hit this top of the hour break. You want to stick around? Talk
Yeah,
about some
sure.
other
I'll
stuff?
have to.
Okay. Do have to the top of the hour break. This entire hour, folks, brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you with buying a home, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. They can walk you through that process where you're not treated like a number. They actually help treat you like a person, help you find the right numbers. All starts with pre-approval, so you can know how much home you can actually go out and afford. Gives you confidence when you're shopping, and they can walk with you from pre-approval all the way to closing day through that entire home buying process. Or it could be you're looking to refinance, maybe to reconsolidate debt, restructure debt, or it could be you're looking to reinvest in the house or the family. I mean, it's your money, your equity you built up. Could be you want to go on that dream vacation. Again, it's whatever your goal is. They can help you out there at Alabama Home Mortgage. And they not only serve Alabama, though that's in the name, they can also help you out in Georgia, Florida, and Tennessee as well. So, Coach, if you're looking to refinance in Florida, call up Alabama Home Mortgage at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. A bold promise from the new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh, today pledging to put the brakes on high inflation, make it a thing of the past, in fact. It's among the promises he made as he offered his first congressional testimony as Fed chair. Stocks holding steadier on a calmer Wall Street after a report showed U.S. inflation was not as bad last month as economists had been expecting at the time. Biogen stock fell as much as 8.2% earlier today after investors were underwhelmed by detailed test results for the company's experimental Alzheimer's drug. Results from a mid-stage trial of diranersen raised questions about the relationship between dose and benefit. J.P. Morgan Chase says it earned $16.9 billion in the second quarter as its equities trading division again took advantage of market volatility triggered by the war in Iran. On Wall Street right now, the Dow is off 21 points. This is SRN News.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Christian Healthcare Ministries is not another health insurance policy. If you're tired of year-long contracts and pointless restrictions, CHM offers anytime enrollment on your schedule and at your convenience. With CHM, you're paying half the cost of a traditional health insurance plan. So that puts more money back into your budget for everyday needs. Plus, you'll have access to CHM's care solutions for virtual appointments, prescription savings, surgery support, and more. My family and I joined in 2018, and it's changed our lives for the better. We love paying way less while helping other believers afford their medical bills. Take the leap of faith and see why Christians across the nation are better with CHM.
Get started by calling 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS for a 50% credit towards your first month. That's 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Victoryland. The winning is 24/7 at Victoryland. Go where the winners go every day, and you can be a winner too. Victoryland, I-85, exit 22, shorter. Admission 19 and over.
Rich Thomas Weather. Well, hi, everybody. Be flexible with your plans. Showers and thunderstorms will be rather widespread today, especially in the afternoon and evening hours before they fade out. Not every town will be affected, but some towns will get some very heavy downpours. High today held down by clouds and showers up to about 86. Tonight's low in the 70s. For Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and probably Saturday as well, we ease back to a more typical pattern of spotty storms. And high temperatures will return to the 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
1819 News.
U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville is talking about his future agenda in Alabama should he be voted in as Alabama's next governor. Tuberville brought up the ongoing problems within the Alabama Department of Corrections, and that includes the plan to build 2 new mega prisons in Elmore County and Escambia County. The price tag on those construction projects continue to rise past the original $1.3 billion that was allocated back in 2021 by the state. This past Monday, Tuberville spoke at the Alabama Sheriff's Association, and several law enforcement officers brought up their issues with the ADOC. Tuberville said that the ADOC will look radically different should he become governor, especially when it comes to financial management. Tuberville says the ADOC system is leaking oil bad. Tuberville says he's been talking with former governors of other states to best understand how to address the prison problem, as well as get input from the law enforcement agencies here in the state. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
A Fayette County woman has been sentenced to life in prison after pleading guilty to domestic violence and aggravated child abuse that led to the death of her 1-year-old son, Caleb Collins. The disappearance of the 1-year-old boy came to light when his mother and father, Wendy Bailey and Stephen Collins, were involved in a car crash. Collins was killed in the crash, however, Bailey survived. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughan Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Our front paws, hands or feet.
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back, folks. Lawmakers push Congress to pass Graham-Russia sanctions bill, and I noticed, as we're doing the show a little earlier, that Lindsey Graham's sister was sworn in, and there was
how about
Alabama's own Katie Britt leading her there. I think Katie and Lindsey were pretty close.
I've given Katie money every time she's run. I will next time too.
Yeah.
I'm a little irritated with Katie right now.
Why?
Because of this Rhett Marcus guy that she's backing for 2nd District.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so out of step with the Republican Party. Don't listen to me. I mean, but all the bills I hate, this guy voted for. And
in the state legislature,
and I just, the gas tax. We used to have a Veterans Affairs Department run by veterans. Now it's a political appointee. Terrible bill. We used to have an elected PSC. Now we don't. He voted for that, and I'm like, why? You got 6 people you could support. Why are we supporting this guy? Because he's from Enterprise. Not a good enough reason.
Yeah, not for me.
If I'm going to have a big government, anti-working family, pro-corporate guy, I want him to be from Montgomery. I want a Montgomery oligarch. I don't want some
He needs to be my
oligarch.
neighbor. Yeah.
Come on, Katie, find somebody local. But anyway.
No, but I just noticed apparently Katie and Lindsey were close.
Let me tell you something, though. Katie's done a great job. I mean, it shows the power of relationships.
Yes.
Like her relationship with this Fetterman guy.
Yeah, that's great.
Have you read about that?
Oh, yeah, they're besties for the resties, I always say.
Well, and the thing is, when he was sick and in the hospital and all the other conservatives were making fun of him because of his tracksuits and his poor attendance record, she was going to visit him in the hospital. And now she's brought him along. I mean, when it comes to politics, relationships matter.
Well, and I'll just say, without revealing too much, like, she's the real deal in the sense of, like, she's done stuff that I don't necessarily agree with, like policy stuff, but and I think her instincts and mine are quite different. Maybe I'm changing and getting closer to her. But the personal side, like even somebody like a lowly talk radio host, just sometimes, like, she will send notes to people, or like she'll just do these nice little gestures, and you're like, what is this? And then I realized, it's not just me.
You're not a lowly talk radio host. You're a notable alumni
of Montgomery County.
You will be by this time tomorrow, anyway.
Yeah.
So
get working on it, Costanza.
I mean, she ought to be glad to get a note from you.
No, but I've noticed
right,
it's not just me. I've heard other stories where it's these small gestures, but they do go a long way.
Oh, I'll give you one.
Yeah.
A guy named Tom Benz. You talk about a guy that, when he dies and goes to heaven, there will be, rejoicing, thousands of angels. I mean, he has spent his whole life going over to Ukraine. I mean, this is way before the war, getting kids that were in Ukrainian orphanages, which, read kennels.
Yeah.
Stalinist era kennels. And bringing them over here, getting them adopted by Christian families, changing these kids' lives. I mean, hundreds of kids. And since the war, ever since the war started, Ukrainian orphanages moved over into Romania. And this Ben's character has been taking care of 200 Ukrainian war orphans since the war started. And, originally when it started, give us a little money. It's, it could be over in a couple of months. Well, here we are, 4 years later. But he's still taking care of all these guys.
Wow.
My youngest son, Alex, is in Romania right now, helping take care of them. But anyway, we got into a bind over a visa.
Okay.
With someone he was trying to bring over here to help with Bridges of Faith, which is the name of the ministry. And called Katie Britt. She got it handled.
Okay.
And that's pretty small potatoes for a U.S. senator.
Oh, yeah. And I've also noticed that, like, she does I've interviewed a lot of politicians at this point, and there's an X factor there. Like, and I don't know, if I'm just being blunt, I think she still needs to work on the speech she gave at the barbecue thing was great, but she needs to work on the public presentation sometimes and the speechifying. But in terms of, like, relationships, in terms of knowing your stuff and knowing everybody you're around, knowing the policy issues, knowing how the Senate works, how the government works.
Disagree only to this extent. Yeah, the kitchen counter thing when she gave the response to the Democrats maybe wasn't.
Well, I was
but
drunk
that
in
wasn't
Boston. I loved it when I was drunk in Boston.
Well, that wasn't her idea.
I know. Yeah.
And so I talked to her not long after that. And in spite of what the national people said, if you talk to Alabamians, her actual constituents, that speech was well received.
Yeah.
The problem with when politicians start consciously, they say to themselves, instead of just being myself, I need to have more gravitas.
Yes.
That's when they screw up. That's when they start becoming fake.
That
people.
particular speech, to your point, she did an impromptu thing at a Senate press conference hearing that was this impassioned thing about the girl she met who had been trafficked. To the country.
Yeah. I saw that one.
And it went over the top viral. Millions and millions of people saw it because it was powerful. It's the person I had met in the studio. It's the person I'd seen off air. And then they tried to recreate that, and they put the corporate shine on it. And it just, I'm like, okay.
Well, and if they had let her just listen to the Democrats and then gone into the next room and stuck a mic in her face and let her give a response off the cuff after listening to that freak show that Biden put on that year, she'd have been dynamite.
Yeah.
She'd have been awesome. But she's best when she's impromptu, and she's also best when she's a little bit mad.
Yes, I agree.
She's a little angry.
I agree.
And but when you
and I guess what I'm saying too,
overstage it, you lose all the best
and
stuff.
I guess what I'm saying is, like, I give her A's on a lot of stuff, and I would say she's not quite at the A. And also I'm judging this based on, I watched J.D. Vance. I'm looking at her age group, her contemporaries. Watch J.D. Vance, watch Marco Rubio, watch Josh Hawley, and like a lot of the sermons he's literally given. Like, there's a lot of gifted that say, well, and nobody's going to be John Kennedy.
But here's the thing, though. You can't, all those people you just mentioned, and I don't know about Katie or not, they are Trump obedient fools. I mean, and listen, I like most of what Trump has done. I'm not saying I voted for him every time, give him money. But I got news for you guys. If you've got a relative in the active duty military, this thing in Iran should concern you. I've got a son in the 75th Ranger Regiment. He's on alert right now. If he goes over there and gets killed, exactly why? Because Israel convinced Trump that we need to go over there and bomb Iran? It's not a good enough reason to go to war. It's time for Congress, and that includes Katie Britt and Tommy Tuberville. It is time for Congress to reassert its powers when it comes to foreign military adventures. I mean,
yes,
because of what happened in Vietnam, they passed the War Powers Act. That was that was a good act. And even though the Patriot Act weakened it somewhat, they still have plenty of legal room to force the president to at least come clean on his war aims.
Yep.
And if the war aim is regime change, how many times do we have to get this wrong before we begin to realize that there is not a little American struggling to come out of every Iranian?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what Trump's end game was, but
I think he was hoping it'd be comparable, maybe a little longer, comparable to Venezuela, that you could hit the top real hard, say, we don't really care who runs it, just make the deal we want.
Well, but the problem is you don't have, Venezuela was not crawling with radical Islamists.
Right.
And
I think Trump himself said that one's Catholic, one's Shiite. It's a big difference.
And Venezuela also doesn't share a border with the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
And with Soviet Union, Russia. And for the Republicans that are up there, they need to go back to standing for Republican values that make sense. I mean, I'm not an isolationist.
Oh, right.
I'm all for collective security. I don't understand Trump's beef with NATO. I mean, we won the Cold War. We've hemmed in Russia to the point where they don't know whether to go blind or do something else. It's worked. I don't know. But what I am less comfortable with is military adventurism which is something when he ran, he said he wasn't going to do.
All right.
And I think his stuff on the border is fantastic. But I wish some of our senators would speak out against administration bullying countries like Denmark. I mean, they're a NATO member. They're freaking Denmark. Rhode Island could beat the crap out of Denmark in a war. Why is the president of the United States trying to bully them over Greenland?
Because Rhode Island could whoop them in a war.
Yeah,
so
but that's un-American. They're NATO members. I mean, and the thing is, after all of that, we get all that bad press.
Yeah.
And then it turns out, we already have a treaty where we are totally in charge of the defense of Greenland and Iceland.
But you like that certain players, and Lindsey Graham was to a large degree, just have an independent streak to where they get along with Trump, but they're not carrying the water for Trump all the time, which is kind of your job.
Not all the time, exactly. I mean, my only beef with J.D. Vance is that, when Trump's been wrong and the results, the proof is in the pudding, I don't believe that he's even saying to Trump privately, you could have done this another way. And it bothers me. I mean, America going around bullying its allies, it's just un-American.
Well, I think Vance agrees with him on that.
The greatest generation, and that stunt they pulled with Zelensky the first time he came here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happened to all that? What happened to, I can make peace with Russia? Well, it turns out that Zelensky was right, that Putin was everything Zelensky tried to tell you he was.
Right. I don't know. I think the NATO bullying is partly to get them to pony up more money and to stop relying just on us. Now, there's always, I guess, the old school idea that NATO is about keeping the United States in, Russia out, and by the way, Germany down. Is the whole idea.
Well, if it wasn't for George Bush, if you go back and look at German reunification in the 80s?
Yeah.
France and Britain and Gorbachev told the Politburo, the Americans will never agree to a strong, unified Germany. And Margaret Thatcher didn't want a reunified Germany,
right.
And neither did the French, Mitterrand. Right. And George Bush gets, what was that guy's name? Helmut Kohl.
Mm-hmm.
He gets coal over in the United States, and man, in a weekend they had it done.
My sense of Vance is now. I think there is actually a lot of back and forth. It's just that Vance publicly, because he's the vice president and also knows what he's good for politically, will carry the water. And the same way, I'm pretty sure Rubio disagrees with a lot of the way things are being done in Iran. Now, I think Rubio wanted to go in. He's more in that camp. But I think he wanted to go in even heavier, whereas Vance didn't want to go in initially.
Well, but the problem is, where you pay the piper. Let's say we get into, we are a maritime power, as Sally Payne would say. We are a maritime power. Our two biggest adversaries are continental powers, China and Russia. All right. Let's say we get into a conflict with China over Taiwan. The first people we're going to turn to for help is our NATO allies. Now, the problem with insulting them, belittling them is, on a attack against a non-NATO member, they could very well tell us no. Now, nobody ever even considered that they would tell us no until the Trump presidency. And you just can't insult people. Especially big, let's face it, given the state Russia's in right now, Poland may need us, but I'm not so sure the Germans are nearly as worried about, man, we've got to have the 2nd Armored Division here, or the Russians are going to roll in.
Right.
I don't think the Europeans are sitting around wringing their hands over Russia anymore.
I don't know, the Europe thing, because Eastern Europe's a different thing with the Baltic
Eastern
states.
European is very pro-American.
And Poland's great. And
Hungary, Romania.
And I look at the Western Europe, and I think back to the Munich Security Conference that Vance, I thought, gave a barn burner of a speech. And because I like that his point wasn't just that y'all need to spend more money on NATO. His point was, look at the amount of, say, censorship going on in the UK. Look at what's happening to your cultures in France and across this place. Wake up, be Europe again. We want a strong partner. So I see the larger Trump administration until this Iran war wasn't full Ron Paul, wasn't full George W. Bush and a lot of the neoconservative thought. It was more like what we need to do is use the power we have because the big races with China to reset the board so that we are strong in our own hemisphere. That
would apply to Venezuela, but not Iran.
Right. Well, I think Iran at this point, I agree with you. Then that's where Iran's the outlier. Though if you look at, say, this MOU that they threw out there,
right.
I think this was always the idea of our future going forward in the Middle East isn't just Israel as the lead dog. We want the Gulf Arabs we want this new balance of power in the Middle East where America's, kind of running it, but we can play these folks off each other.
Well,
and reset the table.
In other words, we want Israel plus everybody else except Iraq and Iran.
Yeah.
And, the Saudis seem to be perfectly willing to play along, and the Emirates.
All right.
But the thing is, though, what concerns me more than a little bit when it comes to the Republican Party in general, there was a time, not that long ago, when national Republicans believed in collective security, human rights, freedom, all that stuff. Now, they seem more concerned. I mean, let's put it this way. We won the Cold War without launching cruise missiles at Russia. And now we can't handle an energy dispute with Middle Eastern countries without having a low temperature. What was it? What did they used to say? Our foreign policy is perpetual peace based on perpetual war. Yeah. I mean, now we're constantly at war with someone. And that's never been a Republican approach. We're supposed to be the party of ideas. In Alabama, the idea of Republicans being for small government and for working families, that is just gone. Yeah. There is no way you can argue that this Alabama legislative Republicans want small government or give a darn about working families, because every time they've had a chance to choose, they've chosen bigger government and corporate Alabama. And dadgummit, I want my old Republican Party back.
And if you got time, I would love to talk to you about, we talked about the one senator, the other one who's leaving the Senate, who might be the next governor,
Oh, he'll definitely be the next governor. And for all you people who really thought the Supreme Court was going to rule against his residency,
Florida man.
I mean, come on.
Well, I want to talk to you about Tuberville and what it might mean
sure.
for Alabama politics.
I think Tuberville's going to be great.
Yeah. This part of the program brought to you by Dylan Rings. Josh and Leslie, right there at Dylan Rings, are ready to help you out. And today there at Dylan Rings, they have rubies on the mind. If you go to their Facebook page, you can see these beautiful rubies and bracelets, I believe. Long been symbols of prosperity, success, and victory. An 8th century Arabic dream interpretation book suggests the dreaming of rubies was a sign of good fortune, no matter in your path in life. So this is essentially July's birthstone. And if you're really into that sort of thing, they can help you out, get you some rubies, whether earrings, bracelet, a pendant. Maybe you want to combine 2 different pieces of jewelry. They can help you.
Roman Catholic astrologer.
No, I'm happy to entertain it. But y'all check it out today. Dylan Rings. We'll tell you a little more about him in just a second. But stop by today, 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway, and be sure to tell him Joey that fell on the radio sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. Here are several ways to attract more buyers to your home. First, price it right to sell, not to sit. An accurate market analysis will tell you what price it should be. Next, prepare the home to show and sell by deep cleaning by a professional cleaner, including carpet. Declutter all rooms, including closets. Evaluate flooring, replace if needed. Paint inside and out where needed, and make the kitchen and bath sparkle. How about the exterior? Are the colors faded on the shutters or fascia? Power washing them and all sidewalks and driveways and patios prior to listing the house. Remember, your price and curb appeal will create a showing appointment. Your condition of the house will make them stay and look longer and buy quicker. For all the steps you need to take to get your house ready for sale, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 334-221-2883 or 334-551-0225.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a political activist. That's right, man. And could you please explain to us your red cap with the letters MMRGA? Yeah, man, this is my MARGA hat. MARGA? Yeah, man, that stands for Make My Retirement Great Again. I see. And to do that, what you need to do is call David Ernest, the asset preservationist. That's right, man. You can call David at 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE. And I understand that's a toll-free number. Yeah, man. Get David Ernest on the case, and your retirement will be great again. And you make these hats? I do. Here's a whole pile left from the last administration. And they say CPWABD. Yeah, man. Corn Pop was a bad dude. And as you said, there's a whole pile here. Well, there wasn't much demand. I can dig it.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
You can't control interest rates. You can't control housing inventory. And you definitely can't control what the national news decides to panic about this week. But here's what you can control. You control your timing. You decide when it's the right time to buy, when it makes sense to refinance, and when to tap into your equity to renovate, invest, or consolidate debt and free up monthly cash flow. Real estate decisions aren't one size fits all, and they shouldn't be driven by headlines or social media noise. They should be based on your goals, your finances, and your life. The smartest moves happen when you focus on what you can control and work with someone who helps you see the full picture. Give us a call at Alabama Home Mortgage today at 334-567-4223 or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586368, Equal Housing Lender.
We get a lot of questions about what all we handle at Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. I'm Hannah Grantham.
And I'm Eddie Bader, and we will handle all of your real estate needs.
We handle all your buying and selling needs, from your first home, next home, land, investment property, and even commercial properties.
We do it all and have the experience that shows you what makes us different.
So when you think real estate, think Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. Look us up on Facebook or give us a call at 334-368-6358. And let us show you who you have on your sign matters.
Lewis at the Capital Oyster Bar, and I just want to tell you, if you're in business or got an event coming up and want to do some advertising, wisely spent dollars are spent down here at Blue Water Broadcasting. All the guys are nice, easy to work with, and I see results, I guarantee you.
Our advertisers are our biggest advocates. Call us to find out how radio can increase your bottom line. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines.
Truckers, listen up. A $2,500 sign-on bonus only at Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Work for a company that puts God and family first. 855-777-9785. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines.
Well, hi, everybody. Be flexible with your plans. Showers and thunderstorms will be rather widespread today, especially in the afternoon and evening hours before they fade out. Not every town will be affected, but some towns will get some very heavy downpours. High today held down by clouds and showers up to about 86. Tonight's low in the 70s. For Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and probably Saturday as well, we ease back to a more typical pattern of spotty storms. And high temperatures will return to the 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
When the heat hits to the river region, don't wait. If your AC quits, Hands Heating and Air offers same-day service, or your diagnostic charge is free with their Comfort a Day or You Don't Pay guarantee, plus 24/7 service with no overtime charges.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back, folks. And I'm your host, Joey Clark. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. Again, Dylan Rings, great sponsor of the show. And again, rubies are this month's birthstone, July's birthstone. So if you're looking for, well, something for somebody's birthday or just to celebrate yourself, this being the month of your birth, they can really help you out in the ruby department. But of course, across the board, they can help you out there at Dylan Rings with any and all of your jewelry needs. It could be there's something you wear all the time. And it looks like you wear it all the time. You've been wearing it every day for years because it's your favorite piece of jewelry to put on. Well, Dylan Rings, they can clean it up for you with a spa treatment. So it'll shine and shimmer like it's brand new again. And of course, they can also do custom design work there at Dylan Rings. In fact, this very thing hanging around my neck, the Sacred Heart of Jesus, I had Josh Ryder work up from scratch. And it's really easy to work with him. He can create beautiful things for you folks over there at Dylan Rings. But of course, they have a great inventory from high-end to everyday jewelry items across the board. They can help you out there.
I feel bad now.
So y'all check out Dylan Rings today, 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery. And be sure to tell them, Joey, that fellow on the radio sent you. I'm not used to people interrupting me during my live spots, Dick. Dick Brubaker in the studio.
Hey, when I was in the legislature, a lady gave me this who used to pray for me.
Amen. Okay.
Yeah, I've been wearing it ever since 2004.
Yeah.
And
I'm trying to explain to my Protestant friends some of the like the Catholic sacramentals and like and I'm like, and I was explaining it to one guy. And he immediately got it. He just held up his hand and showed his wedding ring. I went, yeah, it's not like it's a magic talisman or something like that, but it's a reminder.
Well, it's not magic.
No, not magic.
But it's like an icon.
Yes.
It's a window.
Yes.
Like
exactly.
presents.
Exactly.
Right, not magic, but it's I've got a icon of the Madonna and Child in my office at home. And one of my Orthodox buddies gave it to me. And it's, I tell you, it's got all the indulgences the Eastern Church can put on it.
Mm-hmm.
But
by the way, we're on air, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But when you if you take it out of the room,
yeah,
and then go back in the room feels different.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, none of that's a secret. So, I mean, I'm glad it's on there. But anyway, it's just, I mean, that's what it is. It's not magic or anything else. I mean,
Oh no, I've been definitely going back to that and just trying to surround myself. Well, and also I'm living with my grandfather for the last few years. When I first got over there, let's just say I wasn't exactly the healthiest spiritually or
Right.
physically, and I've been living there for like 3 years now this Christmas, and this upcoming Christmas. And so I have this whole little, he built it for his father, this whole space. It's like a little studio apartment, essentially.
Okay, yeah.
And so it's got a kitchenette and stuff. And like every morning I go to that kitchenette, do my little supplement cocktail and drink that down. And it wasn't until like a couple months ago, I like turned to my left and it's just a simple, like printed out with a thumbtack on the wall, but it's been staring me in the face for 2.5 years, or 4 icon photos of the Virgin Mary.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm like, has that been there? Now, I had somebody laugh, say, oh, that's just being a man. But like, I'm like, fair enough.
Well, that too.
But I've just started to notice, like, oh, there are crucifixes all over this house. There are icons all over this house. And I don't know, there's something about living in a certain space that's truly blessed.
Well, and I'm going to tell you something. Spiritual people, Protestants, Catholics, but I mean, people of prayer, people that love Jesus, whatever, however you want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
If you go in, I remember if you take a person like that who's never been in, you talked about being surrounded.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be surrounded by something.
Yes.
Is it going to be God, or is it going to be the world, the flesh, and the devil? Because there's only those two choices.
Right.
So you're going to be surrounded one way or the other. But it's amazing the number of spiritual people who walk in the State House and their first reaction is, boy, it feels awful in this building. I mean, they feel a sense of spiritual oppression.
Yes.
And it is more common reaction than I can say. And I have talked to so many people who, independent of all the others, have had that experience. And
it's real.
We really do. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. And
that's something that, that really struck me as I came back. Like I didn't have it in mind, but I had this ritual every morning, and I had been doing for a decade plus. Since I got out of college, started doing radio. I'd wake up and probably the first thing I'd do is start looking at my phone and look at the news. And most of the time, me being me, I would get just angry. And nothing makes sense. Nobody's listening to each other. And I'd start to get more resentful. And I am not exaggerating, where there would be moments of like, people ask me, how you doing, Joey? Well, let the nukes fly.
Yeah.
Just let it all end, which is a pretty, let's say, demonic hope. Letting the earth just completely be destroyed.
When I ran for Congress, I had a Twitter account. Well, you're a follower. I had thousands of followers. But anyway, when I ran for Congress, I'm going to get rid of this.
Yeah.
And got rid of my Facebook account, Twitter, because I was mainly afraid they'd be hacked. And I have never restored them. And the reason is, until I got rid of them, I didn't realize what energy vampires they were.
Yep.
There's somebody on the line been holding on a long time. We should.
Oh, no, they just hopped on.
Oh, okay. But it is just getting off of that. I mean, I can't remember who it was. It was in First Things magazine, which is a magazine I've taken forever.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy had an article where every social media platform was equated to one of the deadly sins.
Okay, yeah.
Twitter was wrath.
I believe it. 100% believe it.
And
Instagram would be like lust and vanity. Or pride.
And vanity was it was TikTok. Instagram was lust. But anyway, and he had a little thing about why he chose it. But Twitter is the platform people use to express primarily rage, and that was the platform I spent so much time on. Just because if you're in politics, it's all about being angry, and getting away from it. And I thought, I'm really going to miss this. I've worked hard to get 5,000 followers and be my little check mark, but I missed it for maybe a day. And then, like you say, wake up in the morning, instead of looking, see how big the number was in that blue dot.
Right.
You know, just like wake up. It's a beautiful day. I wonder what my grandkids are doing. You know.
Well, and I realized I was starting every day almost like with apocalyptic like resentment and hatred that had built up over a decade. And so I did a simple change and I still do it to this day. I now go sit on the screen porch where my grandmother used to sit all the time. It's this back screen porch. We've got beautiful trees and stuff. And I get up at 4:45 and I say a rosary as the sun comes up. Mm-hmm. And, meditate on the life of Jesus, essentially, folks, holding Mary's hand. So this morning was the sorrowful mysteries. And crazy things to me, and I say it's crazy because I think of what I would have thought of this 10 years ago. Like, I love just the sound of birds singing. I want to buy flowers. Like, I enjoyed being outdoors, just like the simple pleasures of God's creation. I just love it. And I'm noticing, like, even if I disagree with somebody politically, I'm like, yeah, but they're a child of God too, or at least you hope so.
Yeah, most of them.
Yeah, at least you hope so. I don't know. And it's a genuine place where I'm better. And then there's a whole other.
Well, yeah, I'm not a Roman Catholic. I'm not, but I will say that one thing I have learned going from a non-liturgical tradition to a liturgical tradition is that the very old, these liturgies that the Anglicans ripped off from the Catholics during the Reformation, they have stood the test of time for a reason.
Yes.
And the imagery, the iconography, and most importantly, the difference, and I don't want to get into a theological argument with my old Presbyterian friends, but a difference in attitude toward the center of worship being the Eucharist, not the sermon. It has made a profound difference in the way I view things.
Yeah.
Especially the idea that even in a fallen world, created things can be sanctified.
Amen.
And I think your listeners are probably thinking, these guys were cursing judicial override a minute ago, and now we've wandered into some pretty strange areas.
We have a role to play in it too. It's like
absolutely
when the wind's blowing, you should maybe put up your sail.
Well,
amen.
That's that. I agree with that. And
right, and even if it's sharing in the suffering on behalf of helping somebody else, like it ain't us in the sense that it is God's grace and it is Christ's once for all sacrifice that saves us. But then, we got to cooperate with this whole plan of salvation that is ongoing, that we're in the final chapter.
There was a story on YouTube that, it's the kind of attitude you hope you would have if you were put on the spot. This guy, through a lot of apparent coincidences, finds himself, he runs into this, essentially, he ends up giving half his liver to somebody he doesn't know.
Okay.
And it was the transplant, the recipient of the liver did a lot better than he did.
Okay.
When it was over. And he survived, but it was touch and go. And he got infections and just, anyway. But they asked him, why'd you do it? These are not people you know. And he said two things that really made an impression on me. Number one, he said, God hates a coward. And he said, if I hadn't done it, it would have been because I was afraid. And ridiculous. But then the more I thought about it, if somebody came up to me, especially someone younger than me, and said, if I don't get a new liver, I'm going to die. You're a match. Give me half your liver. And if I said no, what would be my real motives? Mostly fear.
Yeah.
But the other thing he said, I'm 60 years old. He said, this person's 17. And he said, I'm a Christian. I'm not afraid of dying. And I just thought, boy, you talk about putting your money where your mouth is.
Yeah. Amen.
But what a great story. I mean,
amen.
Just out of the blue, and he gets the chance to do, he called it a unique good deed that only he could do. because of the genetic thing that was going on with the blood type or what. I don't understand transplant surgery, but thank goodness we're not very often offered unique good deeds that only we can do, because that really puts the pressure on.
Yeah, oh no, and there are definitely moments where if you're listening, everybody gets these moments where if you're listening, you'll hear the message and you might not like it.
Absolutely.
And that kind of, it's part of the point. Sometimes you shouldn't like it. You like, it's kind of like, well, the priest said this other day, it was pretty funny. He's like, you need friends that'll tell you you're fat. And sometimes the gospel feels that way. It's like, you're fat, or you're too much this, you're too much of a coward. Like you need that message that sometimes you don't want to hear, but then you go, you know what? Okay, I have faith in you. I trusted you. You're right.
You know, I was listening to well, let's just say he's a non-Christian thinker. I won't give you his religion, but he was criticizing Christianity because I'll just say it, he was a Hindu. And he was an Indian gentleman, very intelligent, very thoughtful. But where he was just dead wrong was he was criticizing Christianity, especially Western Christianity, mainly because of its conception of original sin. And I was thinking, original sin is the best part, because what it means is we are all in this together. There is none of us who really, all of us have the same problem. And if you look at what that has done in the West, it resulted in hospitals and charities and this whole idea that whether you're the King of England or just the biggest nobody in the kingdom, you're all in the same boat as far as God's concerned. All of you.
Amen.
And because of that, the West has adopted a much kinder view toward the less fortunate or people with disadvantages, whether they're disabilities or illnesses or poverty or whatever, than you see in Hindu countries where they believe it's just judgment. You know, you shouldn't help that poor person because you'll interfere with their rebirth. You should let them suffer.
Yeah.
That.
And there's a deep disagreement, metaphysical. I think the Hindus are wrong. But to your point, there's this, I would love this idea, Felix culpa, this idea of happy fault.
Yeah,
so
sure.
even the fall of Adam sets up the incarnation of Christ.
Right.
And in fact, it's that very freedom that, I don't know, and you see, I bring this up often with people who are addicts or do AA and those sorts of things. You'll often talk to them and they don't regret, because the past, that awful past they had, made them who they are today. And they're glad to be out of it. They're glad that their life's changed. But there's not this idea of like, I have to live in the regret of all my mistakes of the past.
And it's, when you look back on it, the hard stuff that you go through in your life, and everybody does. Mm-hmm. My dad used to say, what original sin really means is that life is a giant dirt burger and everybody gets a bite. But like, I used to be, in my early political life, I was not very nice to the pro-choice crowd. I mean, you're just evil, you're bad. And then one day I was sitting in a doctor's office with my wife and told, this child's going to be disabled. We were having an ultrasound. He said, this child's going to be disabled. He spins his weave of terrible things.
Yeah.
And he said, but you can I'll give you a phone number. You can go to Atlanta and make it all go away. And believe me, at that moment, I understood.
Right.
In a way I never had before. Now, we didn't get an abortion, obviously, because we're Christians, but
you understand.
I had a tremendous amount of empathy and a good bit more understanding of the human side of that decision that a lot of people are forced to make.
Right.
Well, not forced to make, but are presented with.
Yeah.
And it, I also learned something else in that doctors keep their reputations as miracle workers by giving you the worst case scenarios about everything, because it didn't turn out to be near as bad as the doctor said it was going to be.
Right.
But that said, but that's how you learn stuff. I mean, until you literally are in that position yourself, you really don't understand the temptation that maybe other people face on every day.
Well, we got to hit another break, and I got to call Ray Bowles at Prattville Carpet. But honestly, I can do this all day.
Oh, me
Stop
too.
by anytime, especially if you want to. I'm being serious. I really enjoyed this conversation.
I have enjoyed it as
We
well.
didn't expect it, I don't think.
No, but by the way, Kay Ivey, commute those sentences.
Yeah, commute those sentences, Kay. We'll talk about Tupperville another day.
All right.
Appreciate it. Dick Brubaker joined us, folks. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughan Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Very good. Been able to, in the car for a while, listening to you and Dick. That was a great Have on more often.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm always down for conversations like that.
You know, going back to the prison and the death penalty and all, the one thing that just gets my goat in Alabama, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't think you can ever fix it. But when somebody gets out of prison, they need their driver's license back. It should be done where they have a driver's license. And all their fines that they had in all these little communities and little tickets here and there are gone. They've served their time. Give them a shot to come back. Because out of every 10 people I've helped, 3 of them have made it.
It makes a lot of common sense to me if we're really trying to rehabilitate somebody enough to where we let them back out. You shouldn't create all these just little things to trip over, if not big things to trip over.
But every person that made it, that never went back, that got off of drugs, that got their life straight, that's doing great today. I can name them all, name by name. Several of them have passed away and gone on to heaven. But the ones that didn't make it, I couldn't tell you who they are. I don't remember. I did my job. I tried to help them to move on. If it didn't work out, fine. But the biggest hindrance is the driver's license and all these stupid little fines throughout the state. And then we were saying, oh, yeah, go get a job. Well, who's going to hire you without a driver's license?
Right.
I mean, I can't hire you without a driver's license. It costs me $3,000 to get them back if I want you to work hard enough. You know, I was trying to help you. And then on top of that, if they've been good for 10 years and it looks like they're a model citizen, go ahead and pardon them. Let them have their rights back. They've worked hard to get where they are. Why are we going to keep our foot on their neck from now on because they did something stupid as a teenager? It don't make any sense to me.
You're making a lot of sense.
Yeah. One day I'm going to run for governor and I'm going to make it happen, but it won't be this year.
Your wife would kill you.
She will, yes, yeah. So I come home and say, hey, I got an idea, babe. She hates that statement. Hey, just hear me out. Yeah, there's something bad fixing to go down. Hey, if y'all need a floor, call us 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that pre-measurement. We're going to be side by side all the way through. Make sure it's a seamless job all the way. And next thing you know, you got a new floor down. Just that simple.
Again, that's 285-8117. And be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles on the radio with Joey Clark.
Guys, have a great day.
You too, Ray. Pretty much out of time here. I could steal some time from Greg. Line 2, you've been very patient. Who's this?
Electrobama?
Hey, Electrobama. I'm past time. I'm out of time.
Well, that was fantastic what you said.
I'm sorry?
You on speaker, that's better. That was fantastic, that conversation you had. It brought all sorts of things to mind, but I guess I ain't got no time.
Call back, man. Call back tomorrow. You're always welcome.
All right.
All right. Thanks, dude. Do have to hit this top hour break because happy hour with Greg. He's next. Y'all stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington.